Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 59th Virtual Flying Squadron, I'm proud to announce the Harrier Event, sponsored by Razbam and Eagle Dynamics.
So wait a second, what was this again? The Harrier Event is our way of welcoming the newest module to the DCS family. The Harrier Event takes place on November the 12th and will feature a live interview with Ron Zambrano, lead developer of Razbam, as well as a special air-to-ground competition with awesome prizes to win. Kindly sponsored by Eagle Dynamics and Razbam themselves. Here's how it works. The competition tests every participant's skill set in hitting ground targets in 3 categories: guns, rockets, and bombs. The competitors fly their aircraft towards 3 preset ground targets, each with their own waypoint. Waypoint 1, a static vehicle, will be attacked with guns only. For each bullet hit, a point is awarded. Waypoint 2, a container, will be attacked with rockets specific to each plane. Here it's all about getting your rockets as close as possible to the bullseye. Lastly, waypoint 3, again a container, is attacked with dumb bombs. And don't worry, we've balanced each aircraft's loadout so they're fair and square. It all comes down to the skill of the pilot. When all the bombs, rockets and rounds have been dropped, the best 3 scoring pilots can celebrate with their prizes. Third place receives a DCS campaign of their choice. Second place receives a copy of DCS NTTR map. And of course, first place is awarded their very own DCS Harrier module, kindly sponsored by Razbam.
Alright, hello everyone and welcome to the Harrier Event. I'm here today with Ryan. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, boys and girls. Welcome to the 59th Ravens Harrier Event. My name is Ryan Nelson, call sign Panda. You can hit me up in the live chat if you want to with any questions and or details.
Okay, so today we've got quite a show for you. So for those of you who aren't completely familiar with the Harrier Event, of course today we're giving away a Harrier, but it's not only that, we're going to be celebrating the release of the Harrier, including interviews with the Razbam lead developer, Ron Zambrano. We're going to be talking about the Harrier, its development. We're going to watch some real-life documentaries, and of course there's the big competition where the winner takes away a Harrier, the second place takes away other stuff, and that testing you hear there, that's our referees that are actually talking. These are the guys who will be reffing the competition coming up. So let's get right to it. Let's put on our schedule for today. So as you can see right here, we've got the list of people participating. There have been some changes. Unfortunately, that just happened, so we don't quite have that in the schedule. But you can see some of what we're going after here. Everyone gets 1 run with guns, everyone gets 1 run with missiles, and everyone gets 1 run with dumb bombs. And the ones who score the best will get these prizes. And there have actually been some changes to the prizes. So here, just, what was it, yesterday? We got a new sponsor. As you might have seen in the trailer, yeah. As you might have seen in the trailer that we put together for the event, Razbam and Eagle Dynamics are, of course, sponsoring the event with a Harrier from Razbam and an NTTR map, courtesy of ED, and a campaign also courtesy of ED, or the 59th. But we got a new sponsor, which is TacView. So now, not only do they get those prizes, but for the first prize, they'll be getting an advanced license of TacView. That's a $70 value, and the second place will be getting a standard license for TacView. But if they already have one, that's a $28 value, by the way, they'll be upgraded to advanced license for a total value of $42. So a huge thanks, of course, also to TacView for helping us out.
Now, while we're on that subject, for those of you who don't know what TacView is, please go check it out on their website, www.tacview.co.com. Basically, TacView in a whole is a nice analytical tool that you can use within DCS to review your flights. It gives you a full 3D spectrum with which you can view everything from your missile launches, bomb drops, targets hit, flares launched, etc. For those of you who are competing in blue flag or doing dynamic formations, etc., it's an invaluable tool to have, and it's definitely something worth checking out whether you are competing or not.
Yes, absolutely. It is the analytical tool for DCS, especially when it comes to combat. It's absolutely essential for teams to improve. So let's go up over the real Harrier, not the module quite yet. Let's go over the original thing. I wrote up a few short bullet points for you and I, Panda, so we can talk a bit about the Harrier. So in case you weren't so familiar with it, now you will be. Let's talk a bit about the background. The Harrier is a British-designed jet that was designed in the 1960s, a long time ago. And the Harrier here came to be originally when the Bristol Engine Company of the UK introduced a new directed thrust engine, so it was able to direct the thrust, as the name suggests, in the 1950s. We're talking like 60 plus years ago here. And Hawker Aircraft decided to use that exact engine design in an aircraft that they were building to fulfill NATO requirements of a light tactical support fighter. The first gen Harriers were the Hawker Siddeley Harriers, GR1 and GR3, and the AV-8A. Both were V-stall designs, actually. And eventually, this platform was extensively redesigned and upgraded by McDonnell Douglas and British Aerospace, and was developed into the AV-8B Harrier 2, of which we're getting the Night Attack variant, which entered service here in about the 1980s. So funny story here that I was talking to you, Ryan, the other day about when we were planning all of this was when I first saw Razbam's post about the Harrier saying AV-8B N/A, standing for the Night Attack variant. I actually thought that it was not available, because you know how you see like a list on Wikipedia or something that says N/A for not available. I was like, what the hell? Well, okay. So yeah, today the AV-8B is primarily used as a light attack aircraft, and as well as a multi-role platform, primarily by the U.S. Marine Corps, who adopted the aircraft. It is the Marine Corps, actually, that upgraded the Harrier GR9s to the Night Attack versions following a sale of 72 of these GR9s. Other operators include the Spanish Navy and the Italian Navy when it comes to the Harrier. So, the last Harrier actually was manufactured in 1997, so we're talking a good 2 decades ago from this year, and the final upgrades to it and its delivery took place in December of 2003, completely ending all the Harrier production. Now, it is of course expected to be replaced fully by the V-stall variant of the F-35 Lightning II, the F-35B for the UK and the US. So some people have this question: why is it called the Jack Jackson exercise? What's up with Jack Jackson? What is this name? And Jack Jackson, it wasn't just because it was a funny name. Surprise, I know. Jack Jackson was actually a test pilot for Boeing, and he was part of gathering a lot of crucial information on every single AV-8B Harrier 2 that was rolling out of the Boeing facility. As far as I remember, he actually tested basically each and every one that rolled out of there. And as such, he's gathered thousands of hours flying the Harrier. And to tell you more, we've actually got this little clip we think you guys will love.
The most experienced Harrier pilot in the world is U.S. Marine veteran Jack Jackson.
Well, when you walk out to the flight line to fly a Harrier, it's always a thrill, no matter how many times that I have done it, no matter how many times that you strap it on. It's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling, and I've enjoyed it immensely over the years.
Jackson has flown over 5,000 hours in Harriers, more than twice the hours of any other pilot in the world. When he first learned to fly the plane, back in 1971, the training was highly unorthodox.
We didn't have two-seaters back then. We didn't have simulators even. Your instructor was in a pickup truck sitting below, and I'll never forget it. The first time I got it up, I got up in the air and I went, "Okay, God, if you can get this down, I think I can handle the next one." And the brief was, if your instructor came up on the radio and said, "Throw out your wallet," that meant you were about to crash.
Jack Jackson is now a test pilot at Boeing, responsible for testing every new Harrier AV-8B.
This is the AV-8B. It's the second Harrier ever built, and we use it as a tech demonstrator here at Boeing. You look down the intake, and it's a huge engine. The engine is a thoroughbred. This airplane flies on the engine, very similar to conventional airplanes flying on the wingtips. If you look here, you've got auxiliary air doors, as we call them. A term that we use is aux air doors for auxiliary air. The auxiliary air is used in the hover, and it takes extra air in because the airplane is not moving forward to take it down the intake. Obviously, the next thing that you're probably curious about are the nozzles. In the cockpit, you may have seen a little lever about the size of my finger, and it's a black lever, and you move it back, and when you move it back, these nozzles swing down. This one here and this one here, and there's two on the other side just like it. And that's how she hovers, because when the thrust is going this way, it's going like that. Good example, take a blow dryer when you dry your hair in the morning, push the blow dryer here, hair's gonna go this way. Put it here, hair's gonna go that way. Pretty straightforward. I like this airplane far better than any airplane I've ever flown. You know, I've flown lots in my time. But the reason I like it, it's the difference, it's like a sports car. It just fits around you, it's maneuverable, and it can do so much. It can do all the conventional things, yet land on your backyard. So I like it.
For takeoff, the nozzles direct the thrust straight down. As the aircraft lifts off, Jackson rotates the nozzles to horizontal for forward flight. The red areas in this thermal image show the scorching hot exhaust gases. 24,000 pounds of thrust blast the entire weight of the 15,000-pound Harrier vertically into the air. To land the aircraft, Jackson approaches the landing area like a conventional jet. But then he rotates the jet nozzles so they point directly down.
The water is not flowing.
Once the Harrier is in hover mode, the wings provide no lift. The entire weight of the aircraft is balanced on the thrust from the four engine nozzles.
Because there's
All right, well, a little bit of technical difficulties as YouTube's streaming services decide to go down, but but anyway, we've actually got something else for you in store, and that is a bit of a display from a certain team that's helping us out. So,
okay, guys, so we've got a short little display coming to you from Limitless, which will be done by myself and Limitless's lead, callsign Hawk. Also known as Jamie Munn from the UK. He's flown previously with Black Diamond's jet team, as well as the Virtual Red Arrows, so it should be a good one. We didn't get much notice to do this, but we thought we'd do just a nice little basic dynamic duo. It's going to be fast-paced, and we call this our, how can I put it any other way than a chaos routine, because it is just that. We're going for something a little bit more different, something you won't usually see at any of the virtual events when it comes to air shows. So we've mixed it up a little bit. So a bit about the team and a bit about what the aircraft that we're going to be flying. Limitless Aerobatics was started all the way back in August of 2015. We'll be flying the M346 Master, which has been developed in-house by callsign Envy. He's also part of the team and has been since its inception. So, without further ado, I'm going to hop into the pit. Luna, when you're ready, you can cue the music and we'll get airborne.
all right, just gonna make sure everything is in order.
Brakes power set. Brakes are pretty now. Power's coming up. 2, rotate, gear up. Ready, hit it. $3,000, 3.5, 4,000 over. Coming box clear. Smoke on. Smoke on. Box is yours. mark on go.
Okay, I hope y'all enjoyed that little piece of flying. As you might have seen, we had a bit of technical difficulties. I don't know if it's YouTube servers that aren't very happy with us at the moment, but we are streaming with 10 kilobytes, or 11,000 kilobit a second, so we'll see what happens forward. If need be, we'll change the streamer to, the stream key to another streamer, and it'll be fine. But anyway, we've got just 5 minutes left, as we can see in the schedule, until the actual stream begins. So,
right, I'm back.
Hello, good flying.
Thank you.
All right. I actually need to know what the server name is. I haven't joined the server yet.
That would help, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
So yeah, whilst you do that, let's sort of see if we got any questions in the live stream.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Orion, pretty cool. Blah blah. Yeah. Hey, big news here. Welcome.
Nice. Welcome to everyone watching, y'all. God damn it. These are things you'd think a professional, like, I say professional, we're not exactly earning money, a good team would do. Nah. There we go, Jack Jackson. All right. Baby steps.
Let's see. Human Duracell says, are those nets and Riddow's colors? No, those are M346 Masters made by Amashi. You can find that. Actually, I'll drop a link for you guys, and you guys can go check our webpage for Limitless, and we are hiring at the moment as well. So yeah.
Are your skins based on a real display team, or is it just fictional?
That's fictional.
Okay.
So that's our own little random creation.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's inspired by a couple of other, various air forces and such, but yeah, that's a fictional scheme.
Yeah, of course. All right. Currently waiting for people to simply join an aircraft so we can spectate them. let's you know what, let's go ahead and display Amram's beautiful trailer while we wait. Amram, of course, did an incredible job on his cinematography in this piece. I heard he usually, what am I talking about? He recently got hired by ED, like officially. I mean, I say about time, but that's good.
I think he did, yeah.
Yeah, that's good for him. Some of you know there are actually there is more than one trailer for the Harrier. The 59th local guy here made one as well. James, was it who made it?
It was James in collaboration with Ryan Brown. He put one together as well, and they sort of just merged the two into one godly trailer. So yeah, we'll be featuring that soon as well.
Yeah, we'll be featuring that during the interview with Ron that's coming here in a couple hours.
From Razbam, we should say.
Until my internet issues get resolved, I might ask James to really quick take over the stream key. Where is James? God damn it.
I mean, we can keep it running for now. It seems to be.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. The time is currently 14:59. There's 1 minute to go, and we're simply just waiting for people to start loading into their aircraft.
Tick tock, tick tock. It's always a waiting game.
Oh, you remind me of that Kesha song. Oh, sweet 2007
Why
vibes.
did you have to come on.
Stream ruined. No one can watch anymore. Just close it. It's hard stop.
Kill it. Okay, so I guess maybe now would be a good time to sort of, for those who obviously came in late, run over exactly what's happening, rules, etc.
Oh, of course. We can run over the... Of course, I can run over the animatic. So we prepared an animatic to explain the rules. We thought, okay, well, rules explaining live might be a bit boring, and people might want to see it visualized. This is a bit of a commercial, too. Oh, people are joining the server now. So for everyone who don't know about the rules or haven't seen it or are just a little more confused on the Jack Jackson events, rules, the prices going on, here's a little animatic for all of you.
The Harrier Event is our way of welcoming the newest module to the DCS family. The Harrier Event takes place on November the 12th and will feature a live interview with Ron Zambrano, lead developer of Razbam, as well as a special air-to-ground competition with awesome prizes to win. Kindly sponsored by Eagle Dynamics and Razbam themselves. Here's how it works. The competition tests every participant's skill set in hitting ground targets in 3 categories: guns, rockets, and bombs. The competitors fly their aircraft towards 3 preset ground targets, each with their own waypoint. Waypoint 1, a static vehicle, will be attacked with guns only. For each bullet hit, a point is awarded. Waypoint 2, a container, will be attacked with rockets specific to each plane. Here it's all about getting your rockets as close as possible to the bullseye. Lastly, waypoint 3, again a container, is attacked with dumb bombs. And don't worry, we've balanced each aircraft's loadout so they're fair and square. It all comes down to the skill of the pilot. When all the bombs, rockets and rounds have been dropped, the best 3 scoring pilots can celebrate with their prizes. Third place receives a DCS campaign of their choice. Second place receives a copy of DCS NTTR map. And of course, first place is awarded their very own DCS Harrier module, kindly sponsored by Razbam.
Alright, so that's the animatic for y'all. Of course, it's going to be quite a bit more interesting when it comes to the actual competition. Going to be a bit more realistic than black on white. Now I'm going to go ahead and see if I can jump into the server. Alright, so there we go. Now we've got the competition running. We missed the start. We had some technical issues in terms of getting into spectator slots, unfortunately. But, as you can see here, we've got, in the SU-25T Frogfoot, we've got Ice Cube, the FIATGC. The flares you see popping up there are these different targets that we explained in the animatic. So, the one you see down there will be attack with missiles, and another one with dumb bombs. And this is just to make sure the pilots can see it and our spectators can see it from a good distance. So, Panda, do you have anyone you expect to win, or are you placing your bets on any specific pilot?
Well, let's quickly run through the list here and see if anybody recognizes some familiar names. So the first 5 that we got running today will be Ice Cube, Ripped, Bloodshed, Lazzy, and Luciferin, I think? Something like that? Yeah. Okay, so we've got a tour member there, and a vodka member, and of course 2 ITGC members. Let's just say they're all pretty formidable squadrons. We've seen them in the past. I think out of this grouping at the moment, my money is probably on Lazy Seal. Those of you all know him from the DCS community is Vitali. He runs the DCS Facebook page, so yeah, it'll be nice to have him on with us, and maybe we can see if we can get an interview with him later on his thoughts of the mission.
So, we just got the whisper there from one of the refs. We can hear them, they can't hear us. And we'll be getting whispers from them whenever a new participant begins starting their runs. So, what we've got here is, in the A10C Warthog, got Luz Theron.
That's how you say it.
Which aircraft would you which aircraft would you choose? We've got some different aircrafts that people can choose. We've got the Warthogs, we've got the Frogfoots, we've got the Mirages, stuff like that. What would you choose, and why?
Well, you know, I'll fall back to my personal preference of the Mirage just because I like flying it, but in all honesty, I think the one to go for would be, let's be honest here, it's the A10. I mean, it's built and designed
you go for the A10
from the ground up for nothing other than ground attack, so...
Right.
Theoretically, it should have the best odds at this, but we've seen a couple of the other guys cruising around the SU-27s pulling up some really competitive scores as well. So we'll see how it pans out. Should be interesting.
Luz, you're going really low, very close to the ground. And just right smack in the middle there. So, our referees actually have a plugin installed in this map, which lets them and the pilots flying see the notifications in the top right, you know, when you usually get, like, air connected in the F5 and air disconnected, stuff like that. They actually see that popping up as they hit their targets with missiles, dom bombs, and gun rounds, so they can see just how many points they are awarded. And these are the points that will be given to us at the end of the competition by our referees, who will then announce the winners of the competition, and hopefully we can even get to talk to them. That would be quite nice. So let's go ahead and hop over to Ice Cube here, who's about to take on another target. There you can see in the top right what I mean about the missiles here. You can see as they hit, these scores pop up. Hitting very close to this container. Looks like we've got a minimum of about 5 meters. That's going to be hard to...
That's a good score.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to beat. These missiles are of course, not guided, so you really have to... You have to be lucky, but just firing some into the air here, I guess, to lose weight as well. But you also have to be lucky, but you also have to know your aircraft. You have to know your missiles and know that they can deviate within a certain radius. And that's going to define how close you're going to get to the target. Because you want to get to the target, of course, including the flight performance of your aircraft, how late you can pull up, to how many points you can get in the end. Theron is now going on to the second target. Of course, the Frogfoot is quite a bit faster than the Warthog. So we might even see Ice Cube get into his target before anyone else. And before long, we should be getting another whisper from our referee, James, who will be telling us when the next contestant will be jumping in to take on the 3 targets. So I have to agree with you on that point earlier. I think I'd go for the Warthog as well. Honestly, I have a poster up here of the Warthog, in fact. But other than being a fanboy of the aircraft, I have to agree. It was built for it. Yeah, it was goddamn built for it. You could say the same thing for the Frogfoot, and the Frogfoot definitely has a lot of systems that are really neat, especially if you're attacking ships. And hey, what do I know? Maybe maybe some of that's going to be used to the guy's advantage. Some of them, I'm going to guess, use the Frogfoot over the Warthog for a reason. Maybe some people have some hidden skills up their sleeves.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, that all comes down to the pilot. Yes, every aircraft has its advantage, but at the same time, we haven't limited anyone to any aircraft. When they sign up, they have the given choice to pick and choose whatever aircraft they want.
Exactly.
So it's not really a case of it being unfair, and at the same time, everybody's limited to a certain amount of rounds, of rockets, and of bombs.
The tall
So
chap
it's all
unfortunately
pretty
lost the
straightforward.
connection, so he's going to restart again and just focus on the rockets and the bombs.
Okay. So what we heard there from our referee James is that our other contestant lost connection, and so he's going to be given another chance where we know his score from his gun run, so he's going to be allowed to simply go into the rockets and the bomb targets, so he doesn't have to redo anything.
Yeah, we're very kind here at the Ravens. We give second chances. Sometimes.
Mostly. After the dungeon, of course.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and the banishment from the server, etc. So,
Yeah, that's, of course,
as one does.
mandatory.
Mandatory.
I forgot where the clip's from, but there's like this one series where there's someone who makes like this tiny mistake, and they're like, "Oh, we don't have to go anywhere, do we? 1,000 years in the dungeon." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right, 1,000 years in the gulag, I guess." So here's
Yeah,
Ice
I
Cube
think
with
Laser will
ITGC
approve of that.
coming in on the third target.
Rolling in. He'll be the first one to complete the course.
I'd like to see someone
Just a
do
last
like
up.
a stylish. I'd like to see someone doing a stylish attack. That would be nice.
Maybe like a low-level knife-edge bomb drop or something along those lines? Or
Yeah, of course.
were you thinking more subdued?
No, I'm thinking like rolling inverted, just pulling full half stick and just releasing those bombs, yoling, just obviously completely missing the targets. There go the bombs from ITC Cube. Let's from Ice Cube with ITCG. Let's see how close they hit.
I think the bombs is definitely the trickiest target.
Oof! Wow,
Oof.
14 meters
pretty
is the
good.
closest there, setting a high standard right from the get-go for dumb bombs. That's pretty darn good. Let's go ahead and get back to Loose Theron and the beautiful Warthog. A lot of people say the Warthog is ugly. Like a lot, as in a majority of people I talk to. I don't know.
And we ban those people. So
I find the Warthog kind of pretty. I don't know. Without the, I don't find it like bare skin. I don't find it very pretty. When it has like the teeth on the front, the eyes, like it's got that expression. It's like, damn, like this thing means goddamn business.
okay, so who's next up now?
ITGC Bloodshed is jumping into his A10.
Okay.
There's a word from the ref.
Yep, good timing there.
Excellent timing. Well done, James.
So here's Bloodshed. And we can see our targets in the distance. So let's talk a bit about tactics. Panda, if you're going to go into these three targets, for example, with the gun run, what would you do? Would you come in for a shallow attack? Would you come in for a steep attack? Would you nose down particularly much? How close would you get? What do you think the best tactic is?
Well, we did actually have the server open for, I think it was 2 or 3 nights, just to allow the guys to come in and test. And before those of you start complaining, yes, everybody knew about it. It was posted to the forums, etc., etc. So don't send complaints to me. But we did have a couple of the guys come in, less than we expected, to be honest. I don't know why you wouldn't take a free opportunity to practice, but I don't know. Some guys are like that. They want to do it once and see how they go.
Just yellow it.
So it was an interesting mix between the shallow attack and the steep angled attack. Obviously, if you come in steep, you run the risk of plowing headlong into the ground and making yourself a nice little 6-foot grave in a titanium tub that is the A10, which is a fitting way to die. So yeah, we did see a couple of guys nosing in with that. Those who could get it right, though, seem to have better luck in getting the rounds on target, because obviously with it being a steeper angle, you know, it's all following the same line, which is dead straight into the center of the target.
Yeah. The hog,
Having
of
said,
course.
the shallow attacks did work as well because it gives you that nice. The target is literally broadside to you, so you got a dead straight shot on target. So
That's true.
It's a tricky choice, really. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Okay, we got Bloodshed putting rounds on target there. Let's see how he does. Still got those air brakes up. Needs to put that away.
I was actually going to say, speaking of interesting tactics, you could see him pulling what sounded like full flaps, as well
like it, yeah.
as... Oh, here we go. Here, 13 is the lowest I've seen so far.
Seeing a 4
11
as well on the rockets.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
That's from Lucer.
This is from
Lutheran.
Lutheran. Let's go ahead and check him.
So both pretty good scores there.
Yes. Looks like Lutheran has been pretty darn low on there.
Breaking his way out.
We've got Ice Cube coming back to the airfield here, about to land.
But nothing else is happening with the other guys, so we can see if he gets the landing right. Keeping in mind, boys and girls, that any crash, midair, etc. is a DQ.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. Your flight has to be perfect. We have removed the element of takeoff, though, as you know, things happen, lag spikes, etc. We felt it fitting to keep the landing, though, just for a little bit more entertainment for you guys, and also for the sake of saving time. We don't want to have to watch everybody taxi out and do their 3-day-long pre-flight checks, etc., etc. So
also
yeah,
that.
we thought we'd just jump straight into it.
Well, I didn't know this was going to be part of the competition, but I guess we're also going to be judging landings now. While these guys are preparing to come in for their target. We see Bloodshed here gathering a lot of altitude. He's currently at almost 6,000 feet, and he is definitely climbing quickly. Lutheran here is approaching his target. Of course, Lutheran, we already got the scores from him earlier on the guns, and he just did his rocket, so he's just got the dumb bombs to complete now. We see his bombs.
Lazy Seal is taking MiG-29 now.
A MiG-29. Okay, new aircraft in the mix. Yeah.
And Ice Cube just about to touch down.
Yep.
It's looking good. I don't think he'll have a problem there. Yep, that looks good.
Except for a bit of a lag spike on my side. But...
Yep, me too. Yeah, we're okay.
Well, that's to be expected. Here's the MiG-29 that not too long ago got the upgraded external model, looking very pretty. I can't wait until this thing gets a professional flight model. Here is Lutheran starting to roll in on his dumb bomb run, if I am not mistaken.
That's correct, dumb bomb. Nothing guided here, that would be cheating.
Just send like Mavericks. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, we should just remind everybody again that all the ordnance is pre-selected. Again, we don't let the guys take off as well, so that they can't put in their own armaments and all that kind of stuff, or change any of their loadouts. So everything is preset. Everybody's on equal terms. So
there go the bombs from Lutheran.
I'm just going to track that down in an F6 view. It's looking good. Actually, bang on target. Let's see what the score
nice.
is.
21 meters?
21 meters. Yeah, it's not bad.
No.
Still competitive, and it's in the circle, so that's always good.
And we've got Bloodshed here running in very steep on one of his targets. Perhaps a little too steep. No, it's looking good.
What's his angle? He's 60 degrees pitch down. That is
perhaps more.
All rockets away. Let's see where they hit.
8 meters?
8 meters there. Still got more left there.
Oh, he's going to have to pull up here. Oh, that's a wingtip stall. Oh, man. Pulling it close, but he gets away.
For recovery on that one.
Yep. That is an 8-meter closure we've got there. Here is Lazy Seal.
Lazy's running.
Lazy. I'm just going to call him Lazy Seal. It makes me a good mental image. See, if it would have been an SU-27 there, he just would have gone, like, invert deep stall. That would have been an interesting outcome.
Take off that flyby wire.
Yeah. So Lutheran is headed back to base. We've got Bloodshed here with full flaps. Currently gathering altitude. And looks like he's also going to go in for a very steep run with his dumb bombs. So we'll see how
Lazy just about to make the shot here. He's got his brakes out, really dragging that tail.
Oof. That sent like straight middle.
That looks center. Let's see what the scores come out with. I'll only get that later from the refs and see what they say.
Yes. Alright. So Lassie Seal is taking his gunshots. Next up on the board should be Bloodshed. Although with the MiG-29 speed compared to the A-10, and the fact that one has an afterburner and the other doesn't, means Lassie Seal might just get to his target before, or even at the same time as Bloodshed.
If that does happen, we just blame the refs.
Yeah, of course, that's the ref's fault, not ours. Yep. Just sit back, kick up the legs, and grab a gin tonic. Nope. I'm getting paid with that sweet Dodge for doing... No, I'm kidding, we're not getting paid. The MiG-29 is a very beautiful aircraft.
Yeah. It is, actually, yeah. I don't see it being flown much now, but I think if it does get that PFM...
When it does get that PFM...
It'll pick up in popularity, yeah.
Oh, yeah. When it does get that PFM, I know quite a few people who won't be flying anything else. In fact, I have a German friend of mine. He used to work in the same studio as I when I was back creating animations in the animation studios. He loves the MiG-29 above everything else. He doesn't really like fighters, but he has his pants hard for the MiG-29. And I already told him that, hey, we're getting, you know, this high-grade MiG-29 in that simulator I fly soon. You should come join us. He like, poke me when it's there. I swear I'll devote my life to it. So I'm waiting for that.
Reno is taking off in a
ladies and gentlemen, is how you get new DCS players.
Yes. So here's Wacko Medic from Ravens in his Mirage.
Also a good friend of mine from South Africa. So.
Oh, he's also South African. Here's Lutheran, who turns out only dropped one of his bombs, as I can see.
Yeah, that's something the guys will have to keep in mind, that make sure you get rid of all your ordnance. I mean, you've got to use it.
Yeah. So
it
here is...
might hurt him a bit in the points.
Here's Bloodshed about to drop in on the... These are the bombs.
Bomb target?
Yes.
Yeah, it's bomb target. We're going to have to flick back very quickly to Lazy Seal once we're done here.
Yes.
Because he's basically on top of it. He's
Here we go,
because it's Lazy Seal and he's special.
Okay, we've seen him drop the bombs. We're now seeing the inverted drop here. This is what I was talking about earlier, doing it stylish. This is what I'm talking about. We've got a 1 meter from bullseye on the bombs there. Let's see
That's gonna be hard
what Lazy Seal can do with his rockets here. Going straight down. This is exactly what I was talking about earlier. Oh, we've got a 3 meters from bullseye up there, second from top. That is very good. Some really good... A little victory roll there. Some really good shots. I wonder if any of the pilots are actually listening to our broadcast here. Oh, here is Wacko Medic not making it. That's a death. Rippin' pepperoni. Press F to pay respects. Moving on to...
Oh well.
Oh well. Bloodshed is currently getting back.
Our first blooper.
Here is Blasty Seal and Full Burner going Renault's Loose Theron's just touched down and is taxiing.
If you look at Leslie and you just look sort of in the southerly direction, you can see just the smoking remains of Wacko Medic there.
You're right. You actually can.
We'll leave a gravestone there for him.
All the way back there. Yes, we saw. Oh, wait,
yep,
you can't hear us. The
you.
refs can't hear us. No, I keep forgetting. God damn it. Okay.
That being said, I think Wacko was literally a reserve who we actually pulled in last minute. We had a few dropouts. Unfortunately, some people had some things going on, so he was literally just here to.
Well, all due respect, we got some committed.
He hasn't flown in 6 months. He's actually been doing work over in, I think it's Tunisia.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he hasn't touched DCS in a couple months. So
well,
we'll cut him some slack for that. Shane.
We definitely will. Yes. So we've got in our MiG-29 a Lassie Seal.
We should also mention you got to keep in mind with the I know with the what's that, the Mirage, if you crank that elevator too hard and too fast, you're gonna lose your bombs and your rockets as well.
Here is Lassie Seal seemingly going pitch up,
the same
almost
technique.
Vertical. Yes, he might be going for the same tactic. I won't lie, it worked the last time, and although it was a joke that I mentioned it earlier, since it worked so well, I mean, why not? As long as you can pull up in time, as we saw as the case before, may not always be the case.
Be the case.
Here he is,
popping flares
stylish.
just because. I kind of like these pilots that come in who are just, you know, having a good time as well. It doesn't have to be serious.
No, of course. Oh.
This is a very relaxed event, so it just seems like he's just correcting his pitch there.
Still inverted. I don't know if he's lost sight of the target. Nope.
Away from the target. No,
He sees
it.
it. I think he does.
I think it maybe
Just doing a stylish loop. Really getting into it here. Getting close to the target though.
Yep, getting close to the ground too. Bombs
Here
away.
come the bombs.
Let's see what happens.
Oof. 5 meters from
5
bullseye.
meters, that's a good score.
We've still got...
Very nicely done.
The only thing that can beat the previous score is 0. That's the only way to beat it.
That's gonna
1
be
meter.
tough to beat.
Oh yeah, if we get that, I'm gonna get a drink or something to spice this up, because you done well. So in case you're wondering who these guys I'm scrolling through in the Hueys are, these are the referees. They're in Hueys to make sure that they can spectate anything and everything. They have special rights. So here's Bloodshed on his final approach. And Lassie Seal pulling some inverted G, and Afterburner with his speed brakes out.
How lazy special.
Oh well, I mean, if you want to be goofy, let him be goofy.
I wonder if he's stream sniping and we can tell him, hey lazy. Brakes back in.
You're right.
Maybe we can just text him in chat. Let's do that.
So all we're waiting for now is for the refs to run in the next contestant to watch their attacks on the ground targets.
Yeah, well, those of you who are new coming into the stream, welcome. Hope you're having a good time. Do stick around, as we will have that interview with Razbam. Ron himself, the lead developer of Razbam, will be here with us for an exclusive interview. And I haven't seen one before, so I'd say they're pretty rare. Maybe even a first. So, yeah, it should be good.
That should be the first question for the interview. Is this your first interview? And if he says yes, I'll have like a party horn going. I'll make sure to have the soundboard ready.
Yeah, make sure you have that ready. Christmas is coming early.
Yes, certainly is.
In the form of a Harrier.
Also that. Here
and Bloodshed and final approach there, just dumping players because why not?
Now comes the landing judging competition. Let's see how smooth he can do it. Oh. Oh, a bit rough, a bit bump, but it's looking good. It's looking alright.
Yeah, it's okay. Any landing you can drag your sorry ass away from is a good one. Rules to live by, boys and girls.
Fun story, the Agency is actually the aircraft that introduced me to DCS. I wasn't even interested in flight simming at all. Kind of like my German friend with the MiG-29. I just loved the Warthog in every single way. So when I found out that this was a thing, I immediately dropped Armor 3 and dropped my money on the Agency Warthog module and was in love with it immediately. That was a good 2 years ago already.
Chatting with Leslie here is asking for runway clearance. Check that out in chat.
I think the runway will be free whenever he touches down.
Yeah, it's clear now.
Yep.
Okay, so that's our first batch of pilots.
Yes.
Awesome. Right, we've got a short little break here where we can sort of chat about the previous runs, just as we wait for the next group to come in. Next in the order will be from the 104th Stooge. Pretty familiar face in most of the 104th events. Most of you who are active online will recognize that name. Then we've got Casper, Awesomest Maximus, which I think is just an excellent name. Dynamite, familiar face from Blue Flag, and call sign Shadow. So those are our next 5 contestants in the next round. Paging through a million documents here, trying to get everything organized. I think those of you on the stream at the moment don't sort of realize just how much time and effort has gone into this.
Terrible stream. Terrible.
Yeah, well,
just
you know. We've had a few bad moments. I think it hasn't been too bad so far.
No, I think it's been alright. I think comedy relief and part of the streams are what makes them original.
Of course, yeah.
Here is, well, I don't know how much we can expect for this. It's a simple flight model.
So effectively cheating.
Snaps right to the ground. What a perfect landing. I'm kidding.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
No, we should ask Ron when he comes in. We should go, so, what's the status on the Hornet? Oh, man. Oh, Christ.
I don't think he'll be too impressed.
No, I think he just user has left your server. You were banned from the server. God damn it.
I don't know if you can bring up the TeamSpeak at the moment.
Yeah, sure.
And put that in the stream, but it's it went from 3 guys when we started, and I've just checked in now, and it's pretty full.
Oh, yeah, it is. No, I've got my second monitor. I can see it here.
It's nice to see all the other pilots are there ready and waiting. So we've got Vipar from NOB. Dynamites is here. That's awesome. That's looking good. Everybody's landed, ready to rock and roll.
Yes. So, how long is this break again? I don't know the schedule. Let's go check it.
The break was set for 10 minutes, but we should be starting up soon, because obviously we let these guys land, etc.
Of course.
Like I see James is just pulling down the server and restarting that. Should be up in literally less than 30 seconds, and then, yeah, we should be ready to rock and roll with the next wave.
Sounds good.
I do wish you'd tell us when he's bringing down the server so that I don't get kicked out of DCS, because, you know, it's DCS.
Does it crash on you?
Yeah, it always does.
Ah, that sucks. Well, story of my life.
DCS. Pretty much, yeah.
All right, looks like the server's up already.
Keep refreshing. That was quick.
Yes, sir.
I wonder if you remember to put those extra slots in. Probably not.
Probably not. I think this seems a bit too fast, but that's all right. I think we'll do. All right. And now you press F2 to simply wait for people to spawn in. F2! No, that's me, like, spamming F5.
Keep spamming. Set a micro key to it and just keep spamming it.
Yeah. It's macro and
3 guys hopping at once, and we just keep jumping around between them.
Oh Christ! Yeah, see, we don't have the problem anymore of like not being able to focus on the right people or anything. We
can see all of them at once.
Yes, exactly. We just had a macro to like hit the F2 key at least 100 times a second, at least. I'm sure DCS won't crash. Nope. Nuh-uh.
Nope, definitely not. Not at all.
Crash safe. Crash proof. It's called crash proof TM. All right.
Speaking of crashes, do we predict any more crashes for today?
You know what'd be funny? If Surge crashes. The 104th guy. I think.
Wow, that would be really bad.
Yeah, I know. That would be the most surprising thing in the event, but probably not. I think he'd be the last person to crash in this competition. But at least we saw one.
Yeah, at least we got a crash. We got some entertainment.
So the Mirage doesn't have the best combat history in the event so far. It's about a
not really, no.
100% loss, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've only got, one more Mirage lined up for the day, so Mirage not being the popular choice, but that's being flown by Teljo, who I haven't seen in a very long time. Nice to have him back. He's been very partial to the Mirage. Regardless of where he flies, I think it's just his baby, so nice to see someone representing. Other unique and weird and wonderful aircraft, an L-39ZA, flown by RVR Daxter. So that should be fun. A couple of SU-27s. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, roughly 4 Su-33s, a couple of F5s as well. Should be fun.
F5s.
Yep, F5s were included as well.
Oh, fantastic.
I'm only seeing one though.
Yeah, I'm seeing a single F5E Tiger.
But I think Rit unfortunately couldn't be with us today, so that's one less. So we're left with one, which will be flown by Dynamite, and he's in chat, so we will get to see that happen, which is quite nice.
Yeah. The F5s...
Okay, I see an aircraft.
Oh. In that case...
Su-33, and there we go, there's the man himself. 104 Stooge has hopped in.
There we go.
Right, hold on to your panties, boys and girls, this should be good.
This is 104's Stooge. Let's see what he does. Flying in the Su-33 that recently got its PFM not too long ago.
That's brave.
Going in for, compared to what we've seen earlier, a pretty shallow approach.
That is quite a shallow approach. See, he's got the flaps down as well to bring that speed back, which is dialing back now through, what is it, 240 knots?
240. It might be like a preferred speed because it looks like he's trying to actively keep it just there. There we go.
What does that relate to in miles or kilometers per hour?
Getting close. I'm not sure. Very close to the target there. Oh, wow. I think we might have just seen a bit of I think we might have just seen a bit of direct control, or at least full aft stick out there. Let's see if that happens again. I wouldn't recommend it doing the bombs. I think the explosions might hurt your aircraft just a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
A little bit, just a tiny bit. Might have a scratch on the gear, something like that.
Bad.
So here's
A bit of
Stooge
duct tape conflicts.
burning his way to the second and third target for his missile run and his dumb bomb run. Ah, well.
He's gaining some altitude there.
Oh, yeah.
Cranking his way up. I wonder if he'll pull a similar tactic to Lazy.
One thing I think is a bit unfortunate is the Su-33 doesn't have a lot of skins, and they're very similar. Of course, that's because in the real world, there aren't a whole lot of Su-33s operating, actually quite few.
Yep.
Even in existence, yeah. The only ones that do operate off of the Kuznetsov, and some of them have been replaced with the MiG-29K, I believe is the Navy version of the MiG-29.
Yep, that's true, yeah.
Yes, so it is quickly being faded out, and...
Which is a shame,
yeah.
because it's one of my favorite aircraft since I was a kid.
People have been doing some incredible liveries for the Su-33 that you can download on the download section of the digitalcombatsimulator.com site. But, and yeah, it's really nice to see it with other colors, because it looks so pretty with other skins. But of course, they aren't in here. If anything, they'd be putting in the same thing they did for the F5, like a single fictional skin from a contest or the like.
Exactly, yeah.
Here is Stooge,
Stooge
killing his burner.
20,000 feet.
Oh yeah, he is. He's going for this.
That's a really high angle. So I'm curious to see what happens here. Now, bearing in mind we had Lazy before. Now he's really just here for a bit of a giggle as well to compete. But Lazy's always been the sort of
going inverted here.
Meme
gear out,
gear down. That's interesting.
I think he might be just looking to kill speed. Flaps are down as well.
As long as he doesn't tear them off, because he's got to land with those later. So
yeah, that's true. He's even got his hook down, as a matter of fact, but I can't see a speed brake.
All the drag.
Oh, no, his speed brake is out. I'm stupid.
Yeah, speed brake.
Here we go.
Out, yeah.
Every single surface is out.
Imaginable surface out. Yeah,
and there come the missiles. That's a lot of missiles.
Correction, rockets. And
rockets.
I see a 8, I see a 9.
I see a 5.
I see a 5.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yes, sir.
Very good pass postage.
I keep saying missiles. Bad habit.
Force of habit.
And here are all the control surfaces already in, and he's burning his way to the third target.
Okay, right. Who else we got lined up? What do I get the feeling we just missed? We pass.
What's that?
Yeah, we did unfortunately miss Weepa's gun run.
Oh, it looks like the referees didn't... Okay, so for those of you who don't know, we have a referee channel here who's set up to whisper to us, meaning we can hear them, they can't hear us. And the referees are actually supposed to give us a little nudge and speak in our channel whenever someone new joins, so we can go ahead and focus on them. I guess things slip, and there's been some late changes to the schedule, people bumming out last second, so no need to blame anyone here.
Yeah, they've got a lot to worry about as well. They've got a lot on their plate with organizing the flights and getting the timing right as well. So we'll forgive them this time. It's okay.
Yes, this time. Next time, good luck. And another A10C having joined here, Awesomeness Maximus.
Awesomeness Maximus, yay! I love that name.
It certainly is special.
Yeah, there's going to be a bit of a delay with the time gaps between the A10s.
Stooge here.
One of the 33s.
Yeah.
You say?
104 Stooge is pulling the same tactic, gear out, speed break out, hook down, and he's going inverted towards the last target. Having some trouble following
see there just how,
here.
yeah, there's quite a bit of a tricky one.
Yeah.
But you can see that it's quite difficult if you're not used to looking at your left-hand side or right-hand side to sort of look for the horizon to actually know what your angle is. And the HUD gets a bit confusing as well as it spirals out of control as you're pitching down here vertical to the ground. So he's probably practiced this once or twice before. I haven't seen him hop into the server, but he's definitely
bumps away from 104th Stooge.
And
right on 0 meters. Oh man. Yep, that's
there
it.
It is, boys and girls.
There it is. There it is.
Okay,
Stooge fucking
blown
the fuck out. Stooge is
victory roll and some
here. Yes, I think he knows he did good. Good on you, Stooge. If you're watching the stream, that was amazing.
Very nicely done.
Let's scroll ahead and see.
Back now to Awesomeness Maximus. He's running in on his gun run now. Pretty good timing.
Oh yeah. Here come the guns.
Right.
A sweet bird.
Does look good.
All right, looks pretty darn on target.
We won't know till afterwards.
No, unfortunately not.
I think it was Bloodshed earlier had a 1 meter from bomb target.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah,
yes,
remember we
yes,
broadcast that earlier. We
yes.
said the only one who could beat him was a 0.
A 0 meter. Yeah,
and then one bomb, but so that's really impressive.
You know what? I think Stooge might have heard that, and in case he did, I have no comment. Man, that was. We're
Very
talking
nice.
within a 1 meter game radius. That's darn good.
Yeah, for the viewers watching who are DCS pilots, I know it looks easy. I thought so too. I consider myself a half-decent pilot, but it's a lot harder than you think, especially with the pressure mounting, knowing that you've only got one run to do it right.
Yes, certainly.
So yeah, very well done.
Stooge is going low. Here is our F5. Dynamite. Nice name. Here is a Weepar going in for his rocket run, I believe. There are the rockets. I see 20 meters, 36. I think 20 is the closest we're getting this time around.
It's not the greatest score, but at least you put rounds on target, so that's good.
That's correct.
My DCS is just tripping balls at the moment.
Well, it is a stream, of course it
Leg
is.
spikes
Murphy's Law.
galore.
Here is 104th Stooge. He is already getting in on final here.
Waiting for DCS to wake itself up again. Oh, connection timed out. There we go.
Oh, brilliant.
I'll be back in a sec, don't worry.
Alright. So, F5 and A10s are currently on approach to their targets. Here is 104th Stooge doing an incredibly soft touchdown. I think everyone could give a bit of props here to 104th Stooge for incredible flight.
Give him a virtual applause,
Not the least
ladies and gentlemen.
What's that?
We can give him a virtual round of applause.
Yes.
That was very well done.
Exactly. I was going to say, not in the
Clap
least,
and chat.
an incredible 0 meter hit there. Here is Awesomeness Maximus hitting. I see 17 meters, 15 meters on the rocket run. So improvement from before. 104th Stooge has definitely put himself in an incredible place. But nonetheless, still very good performance from the other flyers. Remember that one flyer being good doesn't mean the others are bad. It just means one was better. Let's see how close our other contestants are getting. this Dynamite in our F5E3 Tiger 2.
Shadow's just jumping in.
Okay, we've got a new contestant.
Shadow in another A10C.
Yes.
Seems to be the most popular choice.
Definitely
Would
favored.
make sense.
Yes. I mean, the two of us, we did too. Also, I think I need to hold up on my promise that if someone hit the 0 meter, I would go out and take a drink to spice things up. I'm not going to get drunk, but I am going to go take a drink.
They seem to be getting closer and closer and closer. You're going to be pissed before the end of the evening, so. And I think we're all looking forward to that.
Details. It's details.
Details.
So, Dynamite getting closer. Weepar also getting altitude.
Dino might get a good score here. Sorry, I'll ban myself from the
Stop. I love the F5 sounds. It's got the crackle to the engines that a lot of the modules are unfortunately missing. Yes, it is.
I just recently, within the last sort of 2 months or so, got the F5, and I'm loving
Oh yeah? Yeah, the F5 is an
Such an
incredible
absolute
module.
drive. So much fun.
Here is Weepar coming in for the bomb run, I believe. Let's see if he remembers to drop both of them. Yes, sir. That's both bombs. Looks like the top one there is going to get closer. We've got a 3 meter. It's a very good drop.
Nicely done.
Awesomeness Maximus about to run in on his target, it seems. Bombs away. Oh, wow. Here's Dynamite throwing away, though. And here are the bombs from Awesomeness Maximus. 7 meters. Looks like the closest we're getting from Dynamite is about 19, 20, 16 meters, I see. 16 meters, I see. Awesomeness Maximus getting an impressive 7 meter from Bullseye.
I'm just going to reiterate to get that again. We've had some really good pilots at the start, and I didn't expect to see such good scores coming through right at the beginning, but anything within the region of 20 is a really good score.
Yes, certainly.
Especially with all the pressure and then everything else that goes into it. We're really seeing the sort of top dogs coming in here and flying, which is great to see.
Yeah. I am very much hoping for Dynamite and his Tiger 2 here to do good with the bombs, since that's kind of my...
represent the F5.
That's my thing. The Tiger 2 is my little baby. We've got Weepar going in for his landing here, and same goes for Awesomeness Maximus. In fact, they can see each other here.
Yeah, we did nearly have a mid-air during practice as well.
Oh, really?
They had no idea each other were there. One was descending, one was climbing, and it was, not even kidding, a case of missed each other by a meter. And there was no way they saw each other. So hopefully we don't have the same situation here. I think with the spacing we might be okay. But if we maybe have an A10 going up and an SU-27 on full burners hopping from target to target, we might see maybe not a mid-air, but some close calls. So
looks like Shadow is still ways away from the rocket targets. And the next one to attack a target should be Dynamite here with his bomb run. See how he does. Looks like he might as well, or might also be going for the inverted tactic here.
The sort of what?
And there it is. Speed brakes are out. There's the target.
A little bit off center. Just gonna have to correct for that. That's the only risk, though, is that if you find yourself off center and you don't find that horizon fast enough, you're gonna find yourself pulling in the wrong direction and just cruising yourself away from the target. Will he pull out in time though?
Bombs away.
Oof.
That's a 7 meter, so the same that we got before.
Very nicely done.
Yes. Tying himself up very nicely with our previous A10 contestants, so making me proud. Scroll on here. Weepar and Optimus Maximus are still on their way, of course, in their slow titanium bathtubs.
Take a while.
Of course.
Baby steps.
Yes, certainly for the gate
We're
time.
gonna get like a formation landing here. That would be nice.
Yeah. And before the two A-10s pull off like an air show before landing.
Yeah, that being said, if they do collide on the runway, that counts. So.
Oh yeah.
Be careful, boys and girls. You don't want to get yourself a DQ after a good run like that.
Here is Dynamite actually burning with the speed brakes out. So a bit of stooge case.
We get a.
I don't know what it is with this competition and burning with speed brakes out. A-10s
Type
just
a message in
super
the chat
quiet.
quick. There we go. Yeah, the A10 in this scenario really is the Piper Cub with an engine failure compared to everything else. So.
Yes.
It's one of the few jets that can get a bird strike from behind. So.
Yeah.
Slowly crawling its way.
It goes backwards in the calendar, as people say.
Pretty much, yeah.
Or the what's the other one? The speed indicator is a calendar. Oh,
We can do this all
sheesh.
day.
Rough.
This is what happens when you run out of stream material, boys and girls.
Yes.
So we are getting a formation landing here. Did I get bonus points for that?
I don't think so. Maybe from the
I don't
audience.
think so.
Perhaps from the audience.
From the audience, yeah. We appreciate it if they're watching.
Certainly.
But you can't really call a ground collision a mid-air, could you?
If you'd call a...
Into the rules technicalities here.
Bless you.
Stop mixing it up. Why am I seeing a burner low over the airfield? Who's that?
Here are the two A-10s coming in.
That's Dynamite buzzing the field.
Ah.
Let's just switch back to Shadow. He's rolling inverted now for, what is this, Rocket's target. Come on, Shadow. So here we see a slightly more shallow approach compared to the rest of it. By no means shallow in its own. Rockets away.
I see 5 meters.
Yep, 5 meters, 3 meters.
Quite a few teams. Oh yes, 3 meters. I can't believe that wingtip stall pull we saw earlier. Just really,
that was really
borderlining it.
Really close to burning it. Okay, so that looks like the next wave over, so let's just run through the scores there. Stooge at the 0. Casper, I don't think he flew with us. No, he wasn't then.
No.
Shadow came through on that rockets pass. He had his closest was a 3 meter.
Yes.
Dynamite. Can't remember his score now. I think it was 7 meters on the bomb drop.
Here is Dynamite coming into land. Probably in the hardest aircraft to land so far. The F5 is
yeah, that's
definitely
good.
needs to be.
We don't have
treated
any
right.
MiG-21s here, so that's good.
That was a very nice, smooth
nicely done.
touchdown.
Another virtual round of applause.
Yes, making us Tiger
ATC
drivers
is screaming at him for touching down without the runway being clear, but thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shadow's crawling his way on to the bomb run.
Yes.
Gaining some altitude, climbing his way through 8,000 feet, and he's still got quite a way to go before he gets there. Baby steps. Okay, so that concludes round 2. Let's have a look at our schedule here, see who is coming up next. Okay, so according to my wonderful little printed schedule, next up is Blixus, Ares from NOB, Turbo, I think his full call sign is Turbo Rush. I remember seeing him, I think he won Red Flag.
Oh,
Year.
wow.
I think, I'm not sure, or second, I'm not sure. But But yeah, I actually flew with him at Red Flag, and he's a really good pilot. It was really nice flying with him. Then we got Dirt Driver, who's also flying. By the way, these are all A10Cs apart from the first guy, Blixus, who's flying AC-33. And the final competitor from RVE is yours. So that should be good.
All right.
Got a nice mix of some talented pilots there. Generally speaking, if you see anyone from a, well, pretty much from a squadron, you know that it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Okay. In the meantime, Shadow dropping in,
Yes.
inverted, but still quite far out from the target. Dropping his way through 7,000 feet and 30 degrees down pitch. So I got to admit, it looks a bit more than that, but yeah.
Let's see how his bomb run goes, and if he remembers
Bombs
to drop
look.
both of them. Yep, both
Yep,
bombs are
both
away.
gone.
Ooh, that top one. 3
3
meters.
meters. Nicely done.
Good, good bomb run here
Good
from
bombs by
Shadow.
Those bombs really look pathetic and tiny on the A10. You know, you got all this carrying space, and it's just like these.
Yeah, look at all those pylons.
Two little,
Hmm.
like small little bananas just strapped to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Feel like such a waste of fuel on the A10 just to drop that. Okay, so let's have a look back at how we're doing on the scores. I think the best is still at the moment with Stooge on the bomb run with a 0 score. Obviously, we don't have the gun scores at the moment. Those are sitting with the refs. Those have to be adjudicated a bit more. We did find there was some slight issues with the coding. So the refs actually watching that live in their separate TAC view, as well as the system scoring, to make sure they get an accurate score with that, and that'll be calculated as we go along.
I'm looking through the chat here, and a lot of people are definitely congratulating Stooge on his incredible 0 meter bomb drop. Let's see here. Tomawat says, "I hear a South African accent." Well, you're not wrong.
What's up, Tomawat? Yeah, you're not wrong. I'm a Durban boy. If you're in the area, come say hi and crash my stream. So I guess now would be a good time to take any questions from the audience.
Yeah, if you have any
Like I said,
questions.
with the lag in the stream, we're going to be waiting a bit for that. So, but yeah, if
Yeah.
you've got questions, fire them away at any time. We are watching this live, so we will be able to see any questions that you guys do have throughout.
Apparently, Stooge actually typed in the chat, because I saw him landing with the tail hook when he was landing back at base.
Yes, I saw that, yeah.
He actually typed, "Do I get points if I use tail hook? Style points."
You get the audience approval. Microvets being a little bit predictive there with question is, can Stooge beat Lazzie's style point level?
We even have an
Think so,
F5
yeah.
here with the emergency hook down.
Yeah, there we go.
It's brilliant. Style points.
Emergency hook, pop the chute, slide in, you know, Tokyo drift your way onto the taxiway, and you hit the vehicle roof with the tail hook on pull-up from Microvax.
Stooge asks, "Do I get style points?" Let's give some style points out of 10, shall we?
Yeah. I think
Go,
so.
okay, so out of 10, and we're talking a total, I'm gonna give Stooge a solid 7.
I'll
Because,
agree with that.
yeah, he went inverted, he landed with the tail hook, he burned, he did some victory rolls, and popped flares. Not too much, not too little. So I'll give you a solid 7 out of 10.
Right, and Lazzy, what are your thoughts on Lazzy?
Oh, so Pilososoy asks in the chat how they did have these impact reports. So I'm guessing he's asking how this script works, where we see their points when they hit close to a target.
Okay, so the scripting is done within the server itself, so we can't physically see it, but all the refs can. Yeah, that's pretty much as I know. It has been scripted, and we've literally been testing it for the last 2 to 3 weeks. We did make some last-minute changes as well to improve the accuracy. And out of the last few tests that we did, literally a couple hours just before starting the stream, it's pretty much bang on accurate, and we haven't had any more issues with it. So I know there were a couple of concerned guys in the back in the the ED forums post for it, but yeah, don't worry about it. We've sorted all the issues out. And yes, they are in meters for the impact. It is a mod. I don't know where it is available, and we did take it ourselves, but it has been further modified by one of our internal guys as well to improve the accuracy.
So, Ocelot GCH asked, did you go get your drink? No, I did not, but I'll do that right now. I'll be right back.
Off you go. Yeah, that's correct, Leslie. It's the 476 range mod. That's for the range itself, and all the hits, etc. are done off that. So yeah. But again, we've modded it and made it look more pretty. See, Werner forgot to mute his mic. We're gonna get a bit of feedback now. Okay, so for those of you who've just joined us, we're just going to run back through that list again for the new guys who are up. We've got Blixus in the SU-33, Ares from NOB in the 810. We've also got, who's this now, Joby Wing, sorry, let me say that again, Bobby Jewing in the 810, Dirt Driver in an 810, and RVE yours in an 810 as well. We should be resuming with that shortly. I think we're just waiting for Shadow to touch down, as he just has done. So we should be getting back up and running shortly. Sounds like Werner's back. Yeah, just getting a whisper there from Willow, one of our refs. I had no idea what he said or what he's talking about, but I'll message him now, see if I can get some details as to when we're getting up and running again.
All right. Now we're
welcome back, Winner. You've got
and there we go. So what's going on?
Well, Shadow's touched down, so let's hop back in and see what's happening here. I think we're going to probably restart the server now, so let's just quickly hop out before I get booted out of DCS again.
Again. Alright, for now I'm going to go ahead and put out back the our little animatic here we prepared. And yes, now I have gotten my drink. What did I put in here? I put in some crushed ice. I've got a full shot of Tanqueray 40% and another shot of Bombay Sapphire 47%. Cheers. I should say cheers to Stooge.
Cheers to Stooge, yeah. If we can get, let's say, 15 comments in the comment section, like per person, I'd say chug. I think Werner agreed to chug his drink. So.
Why did I agree to that? Jesus Christ.
We call it blackmail.
Look, I'm not an alcoholic.
Server is loaded up again now.
Okay,
hey, server's back up.
Back up. That was fast.
Also,
well, you will be an alcoholic by the end of this event. Thank you, James.
2 Game Master slots for you two.
Yay. Okay, server's back up. Let's do this.
All right.
It's pretty much a waterlogged A10C flight with one lonely SU-33, but should be good.
Well, I mean, let's see. There it is. All right, and let's get back to the screen here. Oh my god.
Blinksy's is taking off in, or starting in Su-33.
Alright, we've already got someone taking off here. That's the Su-33 in it, Blinksys.
Blinksy, Blinks.
Something
like it.
Something like that. Whatever.
We're going to call him Blinky. Blinky it is.
Blinky. Oh well. Here is Mr. Blinky on his way to the first target, burning his way.
Good old Mother Russia, fueled by vodka.
So, given he's already up Angels 10, I think this guy's going to go for another vertical. Well, it's going to get interesting.
Probably, yeah. There's nothing wrong with a high angle of attack, just make sure you call out at the end of it, otherwise target will be pregnant. I mean, you know, you'll hit the ground.
Yeah. Oh, Stooge is in the comments. Excuse me. No, Stooge, I'm sorry. I unfortunately, I'm not a big fan of vodka. I had too much of it once, so that whiskey and tequila I can no longer do. What I've got here is, as I said before, it's a shot of Tanqueray 40%, and then a shot of Bombay Sapphire 47%. This is going to get interesting. Here is Blinky going in on his gun run.
Come on, Blinky.
Oh, doing it from a much further distance than most others, but looks like he got it dead on target, even though...
I saw one hit there, definitely on target. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that went okay for him.
Ares is taking his slot in an A10, so...
Awesome. Alright. So, the first Warthog of today's bunch, or this slot's bunch, is about to start.
Should we say?
Yeah. Ryan Brown says, if we get another 0 meter, light one up. Sure, I will. I don't smoke tobacco, so you can guess your way to what I'm gonna smoke. Here is Ares, Knob. Knob Ares in his Warthog.
That's to say, if you're a Brit or you've got a British uprising, that's not the best squadron name. But that being said, these guys are in another class of their own,
yeah.
pilots as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be curious to see how our random squadron names of past kind of translate to whatever foreign languages. Okay, Blinky, as we should call him, climbing up now through 15,000 feet. Now 16. Guess we're going for another high approach here. Quite serene and peaceful up here.
Oh yeah. So it looks like Mr. Knob, I think I'm going to call him that. Mr. Knob here is oh god.
There's a couple of them, so you're going to have to start
damn
giving
it.
proper names.
Well, okay. Ares is getting closer to his gun run. I definitely want to see the A10s. Can't miss out on that sweet Gowait gun sound.
That bird. Do it for the bird.
Oh yeah. Here is Blinky coming out of his burner. Going down.
Ares just dropping
Speed
a couple of flares there. Maybe that's a hello to his commentators. I don't know.
Perhaps.
While we wait for this, any more questions in the comments section?
Doesn't look like it. Just people talking to each other.
General chat. Friendly power.
Magic of friendship. Hint, hint. Terrible reference. I'm sorry. Here are the rockets from Blinky. I see a 5 meter. I see a 2 meter. Wow.
And a 1 meter. There's a 1
oh,
meter
a
there
1 meter from the rockets. Wow.
That's
what a
nicely
hit.
done.
Holy balls. Oh, and coming in right in time for Knob Ares gun run on target 1. Here we are. Let's hope he pulls up in time. Alright, it's on target. Oh! Oh, there it is! Ares hits the ground.
Ares unfortunately trashes himself. That's
man.
I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh well, he joins the Mirage in the ground grave. Sorry to see that, buddy, but see it this way. You add something. You add something for all of us to watch, though. Sorry, it's got great content, even if you crash.
So you get 10 out of 10 for style points.
Yes, anyone who crashes gets 10 out of 10 for style points.
10 out of 10.
If you do a midair, you get 11 out of 10.
Well, so keep that in mind.
Midair, 11 out of 10. Just setting that rule right now.
Or if you impact the ground and continue flying and land.
The driver is.
I wonder what you get for that.
Taking off now due to the fact that Ares crashed, and Blinksies is flaring in respect for his fallen confidence.
Oh man, this is the DCS version of press F to pay respects. Press flares to pay respects. Oh man.
Countermeasure to pay respects to Seaford.
Well, we've got a new driver in, the Warthog. This is Dirt Diver, excuse me, and the Warthog on the way.
I've got it here as
Diver. Yeah, it's Diver. Okay. It says Diver at least.
No, that's misspelled on my one then. Carry on.
Let's see, we've got some things. Hydrax because fuck accuracy. Yeah.
Microvex is always just here to troll. It wouldn't be a real stream without it. So.
Daxter1994 asks, can you clip other planes' wings off to eliminate competition? Probably not. Blinksies here.
Probably
Sorry.
not, no.
I completely missed Blinksies. He got a 1 meter from Bullseye. Sorry, Blinksies. It still has to be a 0 meter for me to light up a blunt. However, 1 meter is still incredibly respectable. Very good hit. Definitely beyond anything I could possibly do. Blinky's getting some nice compliments here from, amongst others, Stooge, saying Blinksy's 1 meter bomb, very nice.
It's my baby.
Literally have my babies.
Have my babies. Sign my baby's forehead.
Call them 0 surname meter. Here is Dirt Diver going inverted on his way to the first target. A little bit of rudder action here. So this is what you were mentioning earlier, Ryan, this thing about making sure you're aligned with the horizon. So when you pull up, you're aligned. Let's see. He is going 350 knots. He is definitely pulling up early. I think the early crashes have begun scaring off people from pulling up too late. But perhaps that's not such a bad thing.
Yeah, there's a bit of a scary feeling to be plummeting towards the ground. That steep an angle.
Yeah. Lassie Seal.
If you're gonna make it up in time.
Lassie Seal writes in the comments, I was thinking about locking A10s with radar just before they shoot to scare them.
The A10C, we're a little bit ahead of schedule.
Okay, we're a bit ahead of schedule, and some new people are joining in the Warthog.
Cool. Anyway, what was Lassie saying now?
Lassie says, I was thinking about locking A10s with radar just before they shoot to scare them, which sounds like an incredible tactic. Thomas says, heck, I'd have done Snake Eyes if allowed, just so I could use my best Willem Dafoe voice as I dropped him. Well, I would have loved to hear that, or at least have a sound clip ready to play with that, Thomas.
Where's that soundboard? We were promised a soundboard.
Oh, you're right. Man, I can't believe I'm such a failure.
Come on, we're gonna get your ass into gear.
Cheers to that. Ugh. So we've got yours here from RDE, in the SU-33, actually. So not completely A10s.
Ooh. Yeah, he was our one little outcast. Oh, and Lexi's as well. So
yes,
that's weird. He was originally down for an A10.
Yeah.
So I wonder why he changed. That's interesting.
So Blinksies is on final approach for base. Dirt Diver is currently approaching the rocket's waypoint. And yours is going inverted now for the gun run.
Going inverted. Speed breaks out. I'm looking for that tail hook and the landing gear, but I'm not seeing it.
Oh, you're talking about the stooge tactic.
It's just losing style points here. It's not good enough.
Thomas says, "You see, Iron Hand's my thing." Dexter1994 says, "Go yours." So yes, got some people rooting for him.
Dexter and yours are both in the same squadron. RB.
Guns going off here. It looks like he got it pretty close.
Yeah, I'd say that's
Russ
good.
pulling up here.
Screaming his way down through the flares.
Blinksy's just about to touch down, and looks like Dirt Diver is about to start his gun run. Let's see if we can get a quick landing, Judge. Oh, Rockets, you're just... Shut up. Blinksy's doing a nice approach. Let's see if we can be fast here. Oh, just kissing the ground on touchdown. Let's get back to Dirt Diver here.
Quick.
Yes.
Literally about to squeeze that trigger.
There it is. Let's see what we get. I see 3 meters.
3 meters. 5. Yep.
I think 3 meters is what we're getting. Very good job. 3 meters is still a very impressive distance here. And just to confirm, yes, if someone does hit the 0 meter, either bombs or rockets, yes, I will light one up. And I'm not going to worry what our sponsors might think of that. Okay, let's see here. Yours is just about to get to our second waypoint here for his rockets.
Ooh la la.
Thomas writes in the comments, what if someone hit 0 meters with the aircraft? Well, if someone hits 0 meters with the aircraft, that counts in my book.
Yeah, that is definite 10 out of 10 stall points as well.
Yes, definitely. You lock yourself in there. Here is yours going inverted for the rocket waypoint.
There we go, rockets away.
Rockets, let's see.
Looking good.
I see 7 meters.
I see a 7.
I see a 6. I see a 5.
And a 5. Yeah. I think 5 it is.
5 it is. Very good.
Now, keeping in mind for the viewers who are watching here, obviously this scroll on the right-hand side moves very quickly. There could be a 1 meter there somewhere that we don't see.
Yes.
So obviously that'll go to ref review. They've got the full spreadsheet in front of them. It comes up and they can see everything. So not everything we say or we see is official. If you want to rewind the stream and play it in slow-mo, you're welcome to.
Yes.
And I see yours is Jetson as canopy, so that's a +5 for style point.
Well, yes, that's an instant 5+. They were talking about this in the comments.
Yeah, I was kind of like spectating him from the right-hand side. And as I said that, his head just sort of slowly pivoted towards me. That was quite a surreal experience.
Here is Dirt Diver going into the bombs, reiterating my statement on the 0 meters. Let's see what he can do.
See what happens.
Bombs away.
Bombs away. And he's dropped both. That's good.
There is definitely one here that's getting close. Oh, it's going to be short. That is 2 meters.
2 meters.
Close.
Shit.
Very
Nicely
close.
done.
2 meters it is. And yours is already approaching the bombs waypoint.
Without a canopy.
Without a canopy, of course. 5 style points.
As
Just
one
right
does.
there.
Yeah, as far as I know, in the rules, there's nothing wrong with you missing a part of your plane as long as you can safely land.
Yes,
And
as long as you land.
clear of the runway.
Yeah,
then
yeah.
you're good.
Exactly.
That being said, I'm not encouraging anyone to try and purposefully damage their aircraft. Remember, style points count for nothing, boys and girls. You gotta play to win win. So
here is yours, turning in.
He's slightly left of that target, so if he rolls and
doing a steep barrel roll in there. Now we're getting to some style points without a canopy.
We're getting into like a horizontal cobra there.
Yeah.
Speed brakes are out. No canopy.
He is going
where's that tail hook?
fast for this.
Got his flaps down this time. That's good.
Oh yeah.
Bring the speed back just a
Looks
little
like he is pushing. He is fighting to push that nose down though.
bit. Yeah, trying to get
Using
it down
his
that
rudder.
last little bit to push it on target. He's really throwing it around. Ooh.
Oh, looks like he doesn't drop them.
Bombs are still on there. That's
Yes,
strange.
they are. Looks like he might go around.
Yeah, according to the rules, I think you've got a 5-minute time limit. You are allowed to go around once for each target.
And it looks like he is.
Allowing yours a second run on that.
Okay.
Due to a lag glitch.
Okay.
Thank you, James. Okay, that explains it then.
Yeah, because I was saying he could just like go inverted and pull, but then that makes sense. So a bit of a lag glitch here, as we got from the referees, and he is doing a quick go around. Luckily, there seems to be no one behind him. We've got Dirt Diver here, slowly marching his way onto base. And yours is full burner here. This is no big go-around or anything, no pattern, Looks like he's really killing it here. He's going 166 knots. There's 160. Going inverted. He is going for it.
Lapping off that burner. With no canopy.
With no canopy.
Speed break is down at the moment, so I'm surprised to see that.
Yeah. He might be just focused. He might just be focused on getting this on there.
Cracking through.
There are the bombs.
Knots. There's the bombs. And pull.
That's 5 meters.
5 meters. Nicely done. Good recovery.
Yes.
Especially considering that was a really short approach. So, yeah, that's really well done by yours. Not my bomb, it's yours. Ha ha ha. I would definitely use that on approach. Take it back. Right, let's hop back into the comments. As a relative noob in DCS, this is Mr. Scargos141. As a relative noob in DCS, it's so awesome to see these top pilots do their thing. Of course, that's what it's all about.
Yes.
Bring the community together from, people who haven't seen each other for a year since the last event. Come together, have a good time, drop some bombs, blow shit up, it's all good. Right, what else we got here?
So let's see how close... Oh, here, Dirt Diver is about to touch down. Let's see if we can get some style points on this guy.
Ooh. Okay, so that is the end of the first round. Just waiting for these guys to touch down, land, clear the taxiway. That'll confirm their scores. Make sure they don't DQ. And then after that, we'll be running into... What are we on now? Round 4? It's going a lot faster than I expected.
Oh, yeah.
So we've got Ruggernaut in the SU-33.
Smooth.
Ganaima. 36 Ganaima. Haven't seen him. That's a new face around. Flying the SU-27. Ferret in the SU-27. Also great pilot. Bingo in the A-10C. That could get confusing during...
Bingo! What?
Bingo
no,
Bingo.
Not that. The name. Oh!
And Telja in the Mirage 2000. That looks like our last 2000 for the day, unless there's any last-minute changes, which I'm sure there probably will be. Nice little landing there from Dirt Diver. It's clearing the taxiway now.
Looks like yours is doing the tightest flight pattern for final I've ever seen in my life.
What we call a spiral approach. Usually only used in the military. Well, would make sense for DCS, I guess.
You just full yank this, just full half stick, and you just engage direct control, just
Keep cranking it.
Here it is.
Really want him to press S now and see what happens.
Yes, same.
That's how you slow down your approach.
Oh, really getting into this. Remember that if he does crash, then that counts.
Yep, that counts. It's a DQ. Here's coming down, 250 knots, and he's landed quite nicely.
Yeah, looks like he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
He'll get some style points for there.
The best way I found to slow down in the F-15 is speed brake, full F stick, and just full right rudder, and you basically do a really violent barrel roll, and it just it can kill hundreds of knots in seconds. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's like a snap roll with a speed brake. Oh wow, coming in very low. Look at that.
This is nice.
Yours just kissing the ground.
That has to be extra style points.
Yeah. That's second only to Stooge.
Yep, I agree with that. Especially with the lack of a canopy.
Oh yeah, especially with the lack of a canopy.
His ears must be bleeding right now.
That is true.
An O2 system working over.
Can't hear ATC. Who needs that anyway? When you got a flask of vodka, everything's just dandy.
Everything's okay.
Stooge says, normal landing approach.
Yeah,
well, I totally agree. I mean, if you mean normal by what we usually do up here in the comment section, yes.
Approach, so it makes
yeah,
sense.
Of course. That's, yeah.
59th Ravens, I've been told you wanted to ask me something from Lazzy. I don't know, Lazzy, what did we want to ask you?
I have no idea either.
Not sure. Microvax, Mach 2 vertical overhead brake from 40k is the real deal.
Can confirm. The drink has been finished.
But only if you get that spiral dive with a knife edge on short finals, and then at the last minute transition for a touchdown. So.
You just closing the server for a restart.
Okay.
So let me hop out quick before I get kicked. Shit.
Gentlemen, on
not quit today. Damn it.
There we go. All right.
Nearly clicked quit to desktop. That was close.
Well, you survived.
Reset now for what is it? Round 4.
Yes. Let's go ahead and pull up the schedule here for a second.
And I think after round 4, after round 4 is the interview with Razbam. So
yes.
Server's loading.
Hang tight, boys and girls. It's coming up soon. And it's got confirmation there from James, the lead of 59th Ravens.
Kickoff for this will be at 3:30.
Okay, and kickoff there that will be kicking off in 5 minutes' time.
Yes.
That's okay.
All right.
We're on schedule. That's good. In the meantime, I think it'd be a good time to thank our sponsors. Obviously, Razbam, of course, our main sponsor, as well as Edie and the late edition of TechView. We really appreciate that for them hopping in last minute to help us out and sweeten the deal a little bit in terms of the competition. Big thanks must also go to all our refs. You know, they're giving up their time to do nothing other than shout at people and tell them what they're doing wrong, and we really appreciate that. As well as make sure all the timings are right and everything's running smoothly, and of course a massive thank you to the leader of the 59th Ravens, James Needham, who has put in countless hours, and I do mean countless, if not days and weeks, of just sitting in front of the PC, making up the mission, doing all the posts to the ED forums, sorting out the timetables. He's putting a lot of time and a lot of his own money as well into this event, and we really appreciate that. And I don't think it would be possible without him. So
let's go ahead and really quickly reiterate the prizes we can win here, since we have the late edition of the TechView sponsoring some prizes. So the prizes here are the following. The first place of the competition wins a Harrier module and an advanced license for TechView, and each are a value of $70, I believe, meaning the total value for first place is $140 price. Second place wins the NTTR map and a standard license, or if they already have the standard license for TechView, an upgrade to the advanced license, a value of $28 to $42 respectively for the TechView. How much is Nevada? Is that still $49, $59?
Somewhere around there.
Yes, so about $60 when it's not on sale, which it seems to always be. So about a total prize winning of about $80 to $100, and the third place wins a DCS campaign of the winner's choice. So those are the prizes, some really great prizes from all our sponsors coming in here today. So we are not far from kickoff for the fourth round, just before the interview with Ron Zambrano, the lead developer of Razbam. We'll be asking him a lot of brand spanking and a lot of terrible questions, I'm just kidding, about the upcoming Harrier module. So, what do you want to ask him, Panda? What have you considered any questions?
I've literally got a sheet of paper here with a million
literally
questions,
got a sheet of paper.
I'm not even kidding. It's just a list there.
I can't believe.
I don't know if we'll have time for all of this, but yeah, we'll ask what we can. If there's any viewers out there who would like to, maybe we can include one of your questions as well.
Oh yeah.
Throw it out there. Just say question to Razbam. you know, semicolon, and then put your question there. We're not going to choose every question, obviously, because either we've already got it written down, we're already asking something similar, or it's not really relevant. So try to go for something that we wouldn't think of.
Yes. So
try to do something different, and then we'll get your question asked in that live stream. So yeah.
Yeah. So just to reiterate, if you want to ask Ron Zambrano, the lead developer of Razbam Simulations, a question that is regarding it has relevance to the development of the module or Razbam itself, but preferably the Harrier itself, then go ahead and leave it in the comments, and we'll sort some of them out. The first comment is Shadow going, when's the Mirage going to be fixed? Dear God, this is the first question I see on all of Razbam's posts on Facebook. Just, here's a new Harrier pick in development. When's the Mirage going to be fixed? XD. Thomas asks, question to Razbam. I want to know if the Harrier has an override to be able to use the gun while hovering so we can try to be Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's an interesting question.
That sure is interesting. Should we add that to it? I mean...
Yeah, I think we can.
Okay.
I think we could probably find the answer to that with a bit of a Google. But,
yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting question to ask. Let's see what happens.
Okay, I'll go ahead and add it in there.
How does the team go? No, we're not.
No, please. Jesus Christ.
Related to the Harrier. Nothing else.
No memes.
We don't want to see your cancerous questions. We're going to ban you from the
No memes!
No memes.
Banned from the stream. Okay, let's add that in there. The question was, let's see here.
Let's see, it just has an override. Yeah, let's add that in.
Does the Harrier have an override? I'm sorry about my super loud keyboard. To be able to use the gun while hovering, so we can try to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. There we go.
You know, your keyboard almost sounds like the train DLC that we're gonna have to play. So.
Just awful. Terrible. Terrible joke. Just, this is commentator level. 59th level. So it's currently 30, and it looks like we... Here we go.
Hey,
Roganaut up in the SU-33 Flanker D. Approaching the first waypoint.
I'm just reading the stream here. I see Awesome's Maximus, who competed with us earlier. Well done, by the way. Said, please ask him if they will be partnering with any manufacturer to develop a throttle and stick replica for the Harrier. That's also a pretty good question.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Add it to the list. I'm not sure if they will be, because the only time that they really develop sticks and, you know, physical gear for these modules is when someone like Thrustmaster feels that there's a legitimate, like, hole or a new space in the market where it could be, you know, profitable for them, because it's a pretty big deal to make these. And the only times we've seen it so far are A, with the Warthog, and B, for the Hornet. And those are two massive modules.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, I don't think most of the community realizes, but to make a stick like that, we're talking molds that are going to cost you $10,000 plus.
Yeah.
And that's literally just for the molds. So you've got to keep in mind that, are you going to make that money back? And how competitive can you be in the simulation world? So you've got to think about your price points as well. How much are you going to charge per stick, and are people going to buy it at that price range?
Yeah.
So it's not just as simple as the guy saying, oh, we're going to partner, we're going to make a stick, we're going to go ahead and do it. There's got to be a market there for it.
Of course.
I don't think there will be yet. I think maybe in a couple of years' time it'll happen, when enough people have sort of bought the Harrier and there's enough interest in it. But probably not now. But it's worth asking anyway to see if maybe Razbam have any future plans for that. What
I could imagine would be something like a thrust add-on, like an add-on to the Warthog thrust, or to any thrust for that matter, like you can stick on the side.
Actually, Microvax just commented there, the F-14 is getting a replica from VKB, so maybe VKB will do something similar to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
some
sense.
very small bursts here from Roganaut in the Flanker D, but seems to get a very nice shot at the target. As we spoke about earlier, some people have different tactics. They approach these waypoints in different ways, and this is pretty interesting. These small, very short individual bursts is not something we've seen so far. All I saw before was just going for it all at once and going on to the next waypoint.
Whilst we've got a brief gap in the action, I'm just going to sprint off and grab myself a drink so you can keep these guys entertained for like 30 seconds.
Oh boy. Well, that's going to get awesome. It's great.
If I come back and we're talking about memes, I'm going to be pissed. So I'll be back in a sec.
Alright. Shadow says in the comments, I don't see people buying a stick for every jet. You got one for the Hawk, the Hornet is getting one, the F-14 is getting one. So it looks like we've got another competitor. And yes, I agree. We don't know, of course. We don't know whether the Harrier is going to get a stick. But what I was going to say earlier was that the likely thing I can see is that in the Harrier, physically, you have your own little lever for deciding the angle of the directed thrust for stuff like VTOL. And that I could see, because that's not something people have on their existing product. And I think there's an open spot in the market for that, but I don't think there's as much an open spot in the market for a stick that really looks like the same as the F-15 and Hornet even. So yeah, because if you go look up pictures of the Hornet and Harrier, or at least the Harrier 2 stick, they are pretty darn similar. Same goes for the Eagle. Question to Razbam from Dylan Humphrey. If Razbam collaborated with pilots, how difficult was it to find Harrier pilots, and what was it like to work with them? We might have that in there, but I think that's part of... we've got a question about the whole development of the Harrier, like the module as a whole, where we'll probably get Razbam to explain the basic development stage, interesting stuff, what the biggest caveats, what the biggest issues in development was, compared to other modules like, say, the Harrier in FSX, or even the Mirage here in DCS. So I think that'll be covered under that umbrella. Lassie Seal says, I have two Warthog sticks, one Verpal sticks, and one BF-109 KG-13 stick replica. Here are the rockets from Rockanauts on target. Let's see how close he gets. 7 meters is the closest we've gotten so far, it seems. Looks like 7 meters it is. Good performance from Rockanauts so far. We have the other contestant here in the L-39. We've got Ganalma in an L-39. Obviously the fastest and superior jet in DCS. Nothing can even come close. And he's about to go in for his gun run here, which will of course be done with the pod here. A very short gun run, but we'll see in the scores afterwards how close he got.
I think the L-39 is probably just powered by a hairdryer. Literally the slowest thing in existence, with the exception of the choppers and DCS.
Yeah. So, Stooge says, question for Razbam. How powerful is the Harrier's reaction control system, RCS? Can it do a 360 backflip from a hovering climb without transitioning into full forward flight? My answer would probably be no.
No.
Because physics exist. But yeah.
I think it was a viral F-35 video on Facebook that did the rounds a couple of years ago of the F-35 taking off the deck of the carrier. I think it was taken from Battlefield or something like that. It basically takes off and does this forward flip and then cruises off into the distance. So
yeah.
Brought back memories of that.
Alright, looks like we've got Roggenot, Ganalma, and there he is, Ferret, with... Yay. Oh, hello.
He's a Ravens member.
Yes. And he has the Splinter skin installed. So this is what I was talking about. The SU-33 does look really darn pretty with other skins. Like, look at how fucking nice this... Oh, this is this 27. Excuse me, it's a flanker. But just the design looks so pretty when it's not that, like, blue skin. But, yes, the first SU-27 we're seeing here, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that Splinter skin is actually a custom Raven skin.
Yeah.
That you're seeing there.
So, here's Roggenot.
Also done by James Needham. Very nice. So, yeah.
Roggenot here in the SU-33, about to do the rocket run.
Correction, bomb run.
Bomb run. Flares are red. That's it. Doing some flares here. 15, 17 meters from target.
Not bad.
Respectable.
You hit the target. That's all that matters.
I think the fact that I mistook an SU-27 for an SU-33 and I thought the bomb run was the rocket run is... I don't think I have to say anymore in terms of the fuck off. Alright, here is Ferret from the Ravens in the SU-27 about to do his gun run.
Good burst.
Big long stream. Seems just to be to the right.
Over.
Yeah, a bit over and a bit to the right.
Over. Again, we'll only know later, but let's see what happens.
Ooh, Ragnaut going more than vertical here. Here is Ganalma closing in on the rocket waypoint. Question for Razbam. Has the Harrier's ability to VIFFF be fully implemented, vectoring in forward flight? Huh, that's a pretty good question. I would imagine so.
That's a good question.
But we'll go ahead and add it to the list.
Bingo's joining.
Has the Harrier's ability to VIFF...
Okay, Ganalma running it now on his gun run. Sorry, rocket run. Rockets away.
Let's see.
And we got a 23.
2 meters.
2 meters. Nice.
Yes. Third from
Especially
the bottom.
considering that we had 104 and 117 there. That's like a really nice recovery.
Oh, yeah.
Very nicely done. This is the nice part about the scoring system. You can screw up and still get a good score. As long as you get one on target, that's all we need. Okay, so that's Ganalma just leaving the rocket run, and Ferret en route to the rocket run now. What's he flying in? AC-27, and he's 6 miles out.
Another player has joined us. This is Bingo in the A10C, also a Ravens member. And Ragnaut closing in on his final on base. Looks like the next attack will be done by Ferret from the 59th.
Just run that by me again. Ragnaut turning in onto his final on base. Don't worry, I'm just trolling it.
I hate you. I hate you. Alright, looks like Ferret of the 59th is rolling in now. Awesomest Maximus says, on another note, I feel like rewatching Hot Shots again for some reason. Hot Shots is a great movie. I laughed my ass off the first time I saw it.
Sounds good. Love that movie.
Here are the rockets from Ferret. I see 8 meters. I see 2 meters.
Nice.
Wow. With how close some of these are getting, I'm surprised no one has gotten a 0 meter yet.
Give it time. Give it time.
Yeah, I know. Here is Ragnaut just about to touch down. L39 is still making his way. Ganalma still making his way up to the bombs.
Little emphasis on the still.
Yeah. For all we know, Ferret might make it first.
Short finals. Oh, he's going to come up short.
Ooh.
Oof.
Oh, he's not making it. There it is. Oh! Eating the dirt. Goodbye. Another one eats the dust.
Another one bites the dust. How sad. So that's 2 A10s now that we've lost.
And
really sad. I'm really bummed because that's a Ravens member as well.
Yeah. Ragnaut has touched down. And here is Ganalma getting some altitude before his bomb run. Looks like he might as well be going in for the vertical approach tactic that we saw Stooge and others approach, getting the 0 meter headlight. And for those of you who are tuning in and haven't heard yet, I did take a couple shots earlier for everyone who hits a 0 meter. Stooge hit one, so I took 2 shots, and I promised if another one gets 0 meters, I'll light up a blunt. Which should be great.
It's really disappointing for Ganalma having literally spent the last 10 minutes just getting to altitude. I need to have some target.
Oh, yeah.
Scraping it along at 150 knots at 10,000 feet.
140.
That poor little L39 sucking in any little bit of it.
What are you talking about? The L39 is the best plane in the game.
Definitely, without a doubt.
Alright. Here is Ganalma running in on the bombs.
I want to
bombs away.
From the L39. Come on.
Oh, looks like they're off target, unfortunately. 100 meters.
Oof.
106 to 109. Yes, he is dealing with the L39.
That being said, he did get a 2 meter on the rockets, and we'll have to see later what happens with the gun run. So
yes.
There's still time to recover there.
Here is Ferret of the 59th. Let's see if he can do better.
he's hot on Ganama's tail there. So.
Microvac says, at Daxter 1994, you must deliver 000 or Gulag. Well, he's got some expectations to hold to. Here, bombs away from Ferret.
That was a very low, I think that's actually one of the shallowest approaches.
9 meters.
9 meters. Well,
Yes.
it apparently paid off. So
Yeah, I mean,
well done there.
For such a shallow approach, that's pretty darn good, I'd say.
That's very good. Okay, we would have been following Bingo, but unfortunately he... how else can we say this? He trashed himself.
Yeah.
Which is it's pretty upsetting. I was really hoping to see what he could do, but happens to the best of us.
So here is Ganama, currently RTB, and it looks like Ferret might as well overtake him for all we know. So...
he will.
Touch 9 meters above crate. No, it's 9 meters out in a horizontal radius. And Gulag already. Yes, unfortunately, Daxter. Oh well. So, just to reiterate our statement from earlier, if you do want to have your question featured for Razbam, you can answer, or you can ask them here in the live chat. Just ask whatever you want to ask. Say question to Razbam, semicolon, whatever you feel like. And then your question, if it's good enough, we'll go ahead and ask them to Razbam before long after this round of players. Should we go ahead and award some style points for the landings coming in here?
I think we should. It's about time.
Our L-39 going at a blistering fast, 280 knots, while our Su-27 is practically idling at 290.
I mean, he's had to make up so much space, he's literally just turned the engines off. He's just gliding.
Yes. He's like having to pull a high alpha, do a direct control, just Cobra once every 30 seconds to keep up with the slow speed.
Cobra there, just keep feeding in the power and keep the high alpha.
Yeah.
Well, 39 trying to keep up in the formation. Gotta remove the tip tanks and everything and duct tape all the crevices. This is a long approach.
Oh yeah.
It's a really pretty aircraft though, the L-39.
Yeah, I think it's nice.
Like
I got to see, I was in Sweden last year for an air show celebrating Sweden's Air Force. They had a big anniversary, and a couple L-159s went there, and they also went to the International Air Tattoo, which I also attended. And wow, man, they've got some performance. Given it's not the L-39, it is the 159.
The 159, yeah.
Yeah, so different aircraft, but same airframe for the most part. And it was really impressive, very impressive. And of course, they're a lot fast. They seem a lot faster IRL than they do in DCS.
Oh yeah, definitely. Everything seems a lot faster IRL than it does in DCS.
Human Duracell says, L-39, the moped of the air. Well, I won't say you're wrong.
Yeah, one day you'll be a PPL and you'll be drooling over an L-39.
Yeah, yeah.
Realize just how slow everything else is.
Here is Ferret just literally circling to keep up with the slowness.
Waiting.
Yes.
Shame. Having to like wait, leader speed. Come on, boys, let's see some style points. This really is painfully slow, though.
It really is like Warthog level slow here.
Well, even slower. I mean, he's on short finals at 120 knots.
Oh yeah.
That's glacially slow.
115 here. There's 110.
10. Most of us would be panicking at this point.
Oof, power.
Ooh,
Nope.
Power.
A little bit of bounce, but looking good.
But
I'll give it a good.
not seeing anything bent, so that's okay.
A little off center, a little bit of bounce, a little high alpha, but I'll give it a good 6 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10.
Yeah. I think anything above 5 is good. And
Yes.
as I said before, any landing you can drag your ass away from is a good landing. So
Certainly. All right, getting back to Ferret.
He was also gone for the really long approach, having
Check
to...
the stream. He's just almost
the
come off the
L39.
runway in the L39.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
Yeah, he was quite close.
Apparently he was. Wow.
No, but he's okay. He's good.
Yeah, he's fine. Here is Ferret.
Taking his time. Slowly, slowly. Yeah, we do joke about the style points, but these guys have to make sure they ace the landing. Otherwise, all that work is for nothing.
Yes.
You lose all your points, and you get an immediate DQ if you crash on landing. A bit like watching paint dry, but slightly better.
Oh, man. Normal flight school student landing. Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Does the L-39 really need to use brakes? Surely at that speed, friction would easily do the job just fine. No, I think it's just for the style points.
They use the air brakes, but you know, it's expensive in terms of your air usage to deploy them. So what they usually do is roll back the canopy and stick your hand up. That's enough to bring it to a stop.
Ferret coming in at a bit of a high descent rate.
Bit wobbly, but he's okay.
A little bounce, a little off center, but I'll give it a good 6.5 out of 10.
His landing gear, Russia strong. So
Yes, strung.
there's no bending there.
Manufactured in Gulag.
Made out of stalinium, so we're okay.
Stalinium. Staluminium.
Okay, right, so now we are dropping our way into the Razbam interview with Ron Zambrano, lead developer. I think we've completed everybody. I know Telja was supposed to be there, but I'm assuming he's been dropped back to after that. I know we did get a few last minute cancellations. It's not the end of the world. Now the question is Ron in chat yet?
Dun dun dun. Get a message.
That is a pretty big question.
Hey guys, sorry I'm out shopping. I'll be there in like half an hour. Oh, okay. I'm kidding.
All the names here I'm seeing I'm recognizing, so I don't know if he is here.
Let's see here.
I'll drop a message to James and see if there's any update.
Alright. Yorick says, I'm amazed I actually didn't crash. Well, there were quite a few others that did crash, and you didn't, so you're on top of them at least. He also says, thanks 59th for hosting. You are very welcome.
Very welcome, bud.
Wait, just...
Okay. Someone was whispering to our channel, and then just, never mind. Well, who cares?
Like a random...
I see how it is. Don't even like me. I don't even want to
As long
talk
as
to
he's
me.
not having a stroke, then we're okay.
Well, no guarantees.
No guarantees.
Yeah.
Okay, James, Pulse and Decoy just reassuring me, don't worry, he'll be here shortly.
Okay.
So that's good to hear.
Anytime.
We do know Ron is a very busy man, especially now with the Harrier release. He's very kindly freed up some time to chat with us, so we really do appreciate that, and I count ourselves pretty lucky to be able to have this interview, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Bobby Ewing's coming on in a minute.
Okay.
Oh, okay, so we've got one more pilot to go through. Okay, that's cool, that works out nicely. Who was that he said? Bobby something or other?
Yeah, something like that.
Let me see if I can find that in my list. Changed about 3 times.
Just going to close down the server now, guys, for the interview and check the scores.
Copy that. Thank you, James.
Okay. Looks like
And with that, we should hopefully get a score update as well.
Yeah.
By the end of the interview.
Yeah.
Sort of get us to know what's happening.
So for those in the stream, every time we hear that little psst, that's basically the refs connecting to our channel. Let's see here. Oh man, I completely forgot. Okay, Google. What time is it in Texas?
The time in Austin, Texas, USA is 9:53 a.m.
Oh, he's not awake then. Damn it. There goes the server. Let's get a little bit of aesthetic on while we wait for Ron. Oh, man. I don't know how great an idea it is to sit and drink like fucking 47% again 3 days after I basically gave myself alcohol poisoning from it. But yeah, whatever. That's just fine. Just my fucking barely adult liver.
As one does.
Yeah, of course. Just the standard, every day, whatever. Okay, I guess for a college student it probably isn't too off. I remember one time when I was out at a oh, there's some messages. One time when what's it called? When I was out at a Ryan, I forgot the word. And yes, I know my voice.
What is the word?
I know my voice is active. We're just. I mean, we might as well just tell some funny stories while we're waiting. Okay, basically.
Is this gonna take long?
Basically, once a year, I used to work under contract for a company to do some filmmaking every time they had these big events where literally hundreds of people from all around the world would come around, because this company manufactures valves, and all of their distributors around the world would come to this big event they made once a year, and I'd be working with a cinematic crew on just documenting it and make some funny videos and take pictures, make sure they can remember the moment. And I met one of my film crew then, who's become a good friend now, but I just met him for the first time then. And I felt like, oh God, I can't drink this weekend because I got to be professional. I got to be up top, and I can't look bad to all the other guys who are working here, you know? I got to be on my best. I got to make sure I can get recommendations from them to other companies. Make sure I can fucking live, make an income. First night, both of my coworkers get so shit-faced. We're all Danes. They talked English to each other. Didn't talk Danish to each other. Like, we originally had some English people in there and like just talking English, and then everyone but the Danes left, and we sat there and continued to talk English. And I was like, wow. And now, you know, I've learned that, holy crap, looks like the entire like kind of film world has a thing with using drugs and alcohol. So the more you know, that give.
Yeah, I could have guessed that, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what's his face, Johnny Depp. God, good God.
Yeah, he's had his fair run-ins there. I think we're straying a bit off topic. I went from DCS to Hollywood stars and their drug abuse.
Well, I think everyone can have a bit of a break. I guess I'm getting a little drunk anyway. We don't have any status update on Ron, do we? Oh.
I think Decoy just came back to me now. He says he will be here on time.
Okay.
Trying to see if I can get a time estimate.
Let's go ahead and head back to our schedule. I should probably check into a stream, because I think people are going to be saying, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh God, there's audio on this. Shut up. Shh. Oh, I hate listening to my own voice. Ugh. Delay from stream, or from like my stream to YouTube, is impressively low. Wow.
Yeah, for me it's kind of like 5-6 seconds.
I would like to.
We get people just randomly whispering into our channel. I think it's like a push to talk. They're confusing or something.
Probably bumping the wrong way.
Let's see here. Stooge says, I was drinking vodka on Friday. One of my buddies started liking it too much. Didn't end well for him. Oh, jeez. Yurik says, beer killed my canopy. Is that fair to say? I didn't press the wrong button at all. Yeah, sure, it was beer. You spilled the beer. I hate it when that happens all the time.
I think you were just going for style points. You don't have to lie to us. It's fine. Okay, just got an update from Decoy. Ron is getting ready, so
Okay.
he should be on here shortly.
Fantastic.
Exciting, isn't it?
Very.
Any last minute questions? Send them through, guys.
Yes.
We're not going to be doing much reading within the chat whilst it's going. Well, actually, no, we will. But we won't have time to sort of jot down a question. It'll be like more of a quick little snippet that you want to ask and or comment on. And no, we will not be asking when he's going to release it.
And no, we're also not going to be asking
us.
when the Mirage is going to get fixed.
Yes, that's off topic. We're not talking about that.
Craig Valentine says 47% man up. Well, I mean, for the Americans, 47% is 94 proof. So you can take that into context. Human Duracell says, what's the worst that could possibly happen? The problem is, that sentence jinxes everything. Now everything's going to go wrong. For God's sake. Microvac says, AV-8B gun and rocket pipper improvement before release. I think that's a given. I don't think they'd release something like that. Likely, yeah, with the testing going through ED at this point, and Razbam's, ED's own testers and Razbam themselves, and all of
their internal, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think stuff like that is going to be broken as it is. Do a shot after every Oh my god.
No.
No thanks. I think I'll skip. Oh, I should probably say, after the interview, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go, everyone. So, Drunk Wuna here, Drunk Lucas is going to have to go.
Far away.
Yes. To a whole other meeting. So, yeah. No one hit the second 0 meter bomb or rockets hit, so I'm afraid I won't be smoking any joints today, but I'm sure I will be in the future. Let's see here.
In other words, in 10 minutes' time.
Yeah, probably. Ow. Oh, jeez. I have so many... I have a lot of pings on Discord. Oh, God.
Let's go read them out. Let's see what people are saying.
Well, the first one is on Snapchat. It says, good morning with a heart, and you can guess who that's from. Yeah, I get warm inside every time he texts me, honestly. Then there's my good friend, what's his first name? Steve. He says, go kill yourself.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. That's basically our way of saying good morning, for the record.
Yeah, that's me and my mates too. That's about right. It's international, don't worry.
I'm just going to reply real quick to the guy.
Right, so in the meantime, let's have a look back on a couple of the scores that we got. From the top down, I'm just going to go through sort of like the good scores. Bloodshed with a 1 meter on the bomb run. Lazzy with a 5 meter on the bomb run. Stooge coming through with, pretty much just blowing everything off the table with a 0 meter direct hit smack bang on the bullseye, nuking everything in sight. 0 meters on the bomb run. Dynamite with a 7 meter. Blinky, as we've come to know him, with a 1 meter on the rockets. I think that's probably the best we've had so far, and a 1 meter on the bomb run. So he's in the run there to well, pretty much win. Let's be honest. That being said, we still don't know the gun scores yet. I don't know if the refs will give that to us sort of a bit later or anytime soon, but we'll see what they say. I don't know if there's still more adjudication to go on there. We know you're feeding back quite badly. You might want to mute your mic.
Oh, god damn. I'm sorry. That doesn't happen in OBS, so I'll just go ahead and mute it.
Microphone muted.
So Blinky, as we've come to know him, unless maybe he can come and chat and just reconfirm his name for us, that would be great. We can at least pronounce it correctly. With a 1 meter on the rockets, 1 meter on the bombs, and we're waiting on that gun score. But he's assured to win alongside with Stooge. So, after that we've got Dirt Driver, also with a good score of 3 on the rockets and 2 meter on the bombs. And after that, it's sort of just a mixed match in between there. A few crashes in between, unfortunately, from Ares and Bingo, as well as Wacko Medic earlier in the stream. Okay, looks like we have Ron from Razbam in chat with us right now. Welcome, Ron. How are you doing?
How you doing? Good morning.
Good
It's
yourself.
morning for me.
Microphone activated.
Good morning, Ron. Good to hear you're having a good morning. We've been having a little bit of a interesting chat with the live stream that's going on here. We've been asking them if they have any questions that they'd like to ask you. So we've got just a couple extra in here that you might not have prepared for. They're just little fun ones, though. That said, I promised Ryan here that he would be taking over the questions to ask you. Ryan,
I'll do a couple. We'll
Sure.
split it half.
How you doing, Ryan?
Microphone
Good
muted.
yourself. Okay, so obviously there's been a pretty big hype for the Harrier. It sort of blows everything out the water in terms of a conventional aircraft, with it being VTOL, etc. And as a result, it's going to be a pretty sought-after module on release. And I know 90% of the community is pretty hyped up for it. With that being said, what made you decide on actually going forward with the Harrier? Was it more a case of there just wasn't one available at the moment? Was it a personal passion for you? What was your sort of inspiration for that?
Well, first of all, thank you for opportunity for expressing our opinion on looking for us for me in this case
for being here.
For questioning. Well, the Harrier has always have a sweet spot in my heart regarding combat planes. Unique characteristic of it being able to take off vertically and land in the same fashion. Not to mention that when you were a kid in the 70s and 80s, and you had all this rain of information regarding the Cold War and against the Soviets, and then you saw Harrier, you believe it take off vertically and land vertically anywhere it wants, and with bombs and etc. And also, as a kid, I used to collect these Matchbox plastic models. I remember especially having, I think it was an AB-8A. They had German markings in it.
Oh,
well,
okay.
all that has always been, I always been interested in the plane, and then the Falklands conflict happened, and you see Harrier won the day. Then came Desert Storm. Everything like that screamed for a similar version of this bird, and the project was born. We first took the challenge in FSX, I think almost like 6 years ago. Being FSX completely different than DCS. The FSX, while not as open code-wise as DCS, you can emulate a few things that you can in DCS. So it gave us the opportunity to create actually all the versions of the Harrier, but the ABAB net attack. So since we have all these resources available for us, it was a common move to create one for DCS.
Okay, that makes sense, definitely. I guess it's really sort of like a childhood passion that you've now been able to very fortunately bring into fruition for the rest of us as well. And I think it's also, you see it a lot in movies, and it's given itself a bit of a reputation just for being that sort of wonder aircraft of the modern era. And yeah, as a result, it's pretty sought after by all the viewers, as I'm sure you can tell. So with that in mind and the development, what sort of challenges did you find in development of the Harrier? Was it more sort of the transitioning with the VTOL? What sort of difficulties did you have whilst developing the module?
Give me a second, just a second. I have my cat is doing something. Just a minute.
This cat.
Technical difficulties, ladies and gentlemen.
Cat problems. Oh my goodness.
Microphone muted.
Be lying if I
I'm
said
sorry for that.
Not a problem.
I have my cat here, and he was actually doing.
Yeah, mine was doing the same about 10 minutes ago. Don't worry about it.
Okay. As with any complex aircraft, there were many challenges in the creating process. Being myself in the 3D developing part, most of them were regarding trying to get the correct shapes and very accurate 3D view plans, cross-section diagrams, etc. Then is the creating of the avionics that While a huge challenge in itself, being DCS more combat, when you went into combat simulation rather than FSX in this case, at FSX you were more concerned about the navigational process of it, because whatever it comes to combat or to weapons in it is basically, not a combat sim in itself. So you can have a bit of a artist uh, free way of doing things. DCS is not like that.
Definitely, yeah.
DCS is more into replicating the actual functionality of the not just the avionics, but the combat part of the thing. So while we have this huge, we have a huge amount of resources on the aircraft, trying to put that into the sim with a different scope on what you can code in it was more a challenge and time consuming than in what you could or couldn't do.
Okay, yeah, that
And
definitely makes sense.
then we have the flight modeling, which is a challenge of its own. Uh, I don't know if in FSX we have to play with some variables and we have to actually try to recreate vertical takeoff and landing solution, because the same engine does not support hovering. Yes, in their
Of
way,
course, yeah.
the way the flight model is put into the simulation, which is open. You can put your own source into the sim. Uh, it's the challenge is trying to tune up stuff to look actually more accurate possible than implementing it in the sim. And in that regard, uh, Razbam is surrounded with outstanding talent, and the whole team was up to it. Painting Taylor with the cockpit mesh and final touch-ups to the whole model, interior and exterior. Larry, to happen to be my brother, with his coding knowledge, and Chris Sykes with his natural talent to creating flight models, made all this challenge more like a nuisance rather than a problem. I'm sorry
Okay,
for the
that's
lack of
interesting.
humbleness, but I'm really proud of the team. Their prowess and overall attitude towards each new challenge in the road, it's something I'm amazed of.
I can
And
imagine that, yeah.
and
And it's something I also really appreciate as well as seeing how open you guys are on the Facebook feed that you guys run, where you really give us so much to go off and you really show us the development process. We can see the passion and the inspiration behind it. And I think I speak for the whole community when I say we really appreciate seeing that.
well,
Something that a lot of the other developers just don't really do. It's sort of a case of the module just pops out of nowhere, and we're like, oh, okay. But at least here we can see the development process, the stages you guys are going through, and everything that goes with it.
there is a reason why I started doing this. I have 15 years in the business, most of it in FSX. Even the times when it was FS9, FS8 was dying. Combat Flight Simulator 2 was the huge combat simulator of the time, and FS9 was just in the verge of coming around. So, in those days, being a pairware developer was like, you know, being son of the devil, something like that. And we have a really bad rap, not because the whole paywall community was producing bad add-ons, but because we were asking money for it, and back then that was a big no-no. So every time somebody start creating something for pay, charging for what you were doing, most of the community will start looking for the small flaws and saying that, and you know what, this thing was not made by you, was made by someone else, whatever. So I took the decision back then that would start showing from poly one until the last minute what has been done, just to show what we do, how much trouble and work it takes, and the potential customer can see the whole process when it's something that you don't think, oh, that doesn't look at all like a Harrier, until what you see right now.
Of course, yeah. That definitely makes sense, yeah. I did hear you say also that you had a lot of resources in developing the Harrier. Were you guys able to sort of get any feedback, etc., from real world Harrier pilots at all?
Yes, we did.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Problem is, most of that stuff I cannot discuss openly.
Of course, yeah. That was a
But
question that we did get from a couple of our viewers who were asking, if you had a hand in, but that's good to know. But we won't discuss that any further. Obviously, I can understand that a lot of that is sort of under wraps through contract, etc. And we don't want to
I
delve
can
too much into that.
I can say there is one comment that I really think it describes a lot about this particular subject. I can name names, but the comment of an actual Harrier pilot was the feeling of the aircraft and the hover was very good, and especially like the unstick into VTOL takeoff. That is more accurate than the sims we train on. That's an
Wow,
actual quote for a pilot from a pilot.
That's really impressive then. Yeah, this is what we were sort of looking at, is that this is really it's more than just a DCS module. I think it's kind of a revolutionary sort of module in itself for all flights. I mean, because nobody has really got close to, and I think the proof will obviously be in the pudding, but from what we can see so far, that nobody has really got close to this sort of level of realism for a VTOL aircraft. And I consider ourselves very lucky to be able to have the opportunity to fly it, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. So yeah, that's great to hear.
There is something that customers and potential customers have to keep in mind. It's the fact that this is not really an easy aircraft to fly. It has killed a lot of people in real life. Even as current version we simulate, you have a lot, you have a lot of computerized controls and to ease the work in the cockpit for the pilot. But it will try to kill you. And I can tell you right now that for many, myself included, when I start testing this particular add-on, it's very frustrating.
I can imagine.
Trying to start doing something that you see every day doing until you get all the time behind the stick to actually make it work the way it should. Now, many people will say, "Oh yeah, how can you compare with real work? So I've never been behind a header, and this is a simulator thing, almost like a toy when I put it that way." But once you're inside the cockpit and you start getting into the whole process of flying this, and you get to where you have to land it or take off, and you actually forget a small step into the process, and then you see how you pay. And the plane is not gonna forgive you. It's gonna try to kill you, and it will kill you immediately. I mean, you can come from an absolutely outstanding mission. You baited all the SAMs that were fired at you, destroy all the targets, whatever. Then you fly 15 minutes back to the base and die trying to land it.
Of course.
Quite frustrating.
I can imagine, yeah. It's also a question that I'm just going to touch on that that a few of the viewers had. Would the training missions be complete at the time of the release of the Harrier?
Yes.
Excellent.
Right.
That's a big win for us in the community.
One of the most critical parts of the whole model in itself is that training missions.
Okay, of course, yeah.
Well,
I can imagine it's not entirely easy to sort of model a training mission that's really going to teach you to fly a Harrier, because it really is a pilot's plane. It's not a case of press this button, do this, do that, and it'll fly. It's really a case of something that you've got to physically fly. So yeah.
You're gonna need some time behind the stick.
I can imagine. Yeah.
When we did the FSX version, that the VTOL process of it was not stellar, to put it in some way. But the solution we used was to create 3 engines. So you have the engine that when it goes horizontally, and you got the engine that controls the plane vertically. You have a third engine that wasn't putting any thrust in it, but it helps to control the whole throttles, because that's how FSX works.
Of course, yeah.
Many people complain that the solution we use was not what's currently being used. It's what we call super flaps, which is a gimmick using flaps, super sustentation, so you can take off immediately like you were hovering. But people start complaining about it. Basically, in the transition from horizontal to vertical flight, just to give a little bit of a bump. people say, "Oh, this is not working right. I mean, I cannot take off with that weight, yada yada yada." You can't imagine. But the thing is, this is how this thing works. This is how the plane flies. There is a lot of misunderstanding about what a Harrier can and Harrier can't do. You know, that's what I was mentioning. Growing up in the 70s and 80s, you could see pictures of Harrier taking off rocket pods or bombs or fuel tanks going vertically and then going off to combat. But what you didn't know is that the plane was almost with no fuel on it, or there was dummy bombs, or the rocket pods were empty, or the fuel tanks were empty because it cannot take off with so much weight. So then comes movies like Through Lies, when you see Arnold Schwarzenegger hovering in front of a building and firing rockets and stuff. A lot of things that this plane can't actually do. So they go to the simulation version and they put a lot of bombs under the wings. They see, oh, this is not taking off.
Yeah, it's not working. Yeah, because it just lies in the movie.
This thing is broken. This thing is not working like it should, and a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really funny you mentioned that though, because somebody did ask in the live stream chat if it would be possible to override the guns whilst in a hover so that they could shoot like they do in True Lies. I don't know, is that at all possible, or is that something you haven't really tested yet?
First, try to put it in a hover, and then we'll talk about firing a gun.
Cool. You heard it first, boys and girls. And then a few other questions as well from the viewers. These are really just sort of yes no answers. Will the ships be released at the same time as the aircraft?
Okay, there is no such thing as ships. There is a ship.
Sorry, the carriers.
LH1.
The singular carrier, yes.
Tarawa. It will be included in the product. Right now, bearing hands in the model that we were showing our Facebook page, putting the next level of detailing. Most likely there will be a version of it for early access, which it's not definitely not the final version.
Okay.
But yes, it will be included. As for the other ships you see in our Facebook page, basically a British fleet, Russian fleet that is all being developed. Those are planned as a different DLC.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Regarding British aircraft carriers, you can imagine with what they will be available.
Okay, and then another question from a viewer. Will we be able to land, refuel, rearm, etc. at the FARPs? Is that at all possible? At road FARPs, etc.?
Of course, it's a Harrier.
Excellent. That's also good to hear. It's not so much a question, but more of just a sort of confirmation.
I don't know.
I think that's what everybody really wants to do in sort of the big missions like Operation Blue Flag, etc. To be able to sort of touch down midway between your objective and home base to refuel, rearm. That's going to really change the game for a lot of these big servers such as Blue Flag, 104th, etc.
I'm not sure if they're actually Harrier-able FARPs in the sim. I think they're mostly for helicopters.
Yeah, they are mostly for helicopters. It's more a case of if it's just possible. But yeah, as they're saying here with Microvac's FARP, is just an airfield. You touch it, you should be able to go. So yeah, but that's just again another confirmation from a viewer. So I can't remember who asked that, but there you go. You've got your answer.
You have to keep in mind that FARP operation for the Harrier, you need a small runway. Because the plane will land. Will make a short landing, not actually hovering, and will make a short takeoff. If you want to put some considerable weapons under the wings. But
yeah, of course. I know with most of the servers, they usually put the FARP right next to a road, so you can basically taxi straight off, get onto the road, and take off from there.
Exactly.
We're going to have a lot of people doing some quick calculations on their takeoff roll for a fully loaded Harrier to see if they can actually make it off the deck. So yeah. Okay, I think I'm just going to hand back to Werner. I don't know if you have any further questions. If he's still in the chat.
I don't have any further questions. No, that was pretty darn interesting. Thank you, Ron, for covering all those questions for us, especially for the viewers. I'm glad you're taking such a big hand around the community and around the development of the Harrier. And I know it's important for a lot of my British friends and even people in British colonies like Ryan here, for example, in South Africa. Well, former anyway. A lot of them are looking forward to it because it's a big part of their life, their childhood. They were inspired by fighter jets for the Harrier. So it's good to see that it's being developed with care. That's all I have to say.
I want to thank you as well for taking the time to look for me and ask them and make me these questions. Also, I can guarantee you this is not the last Harrier in DCS that will be created from us.
Okay.
Okay.
This is not the last Harrier you will see from us in DCS. This is the first Harrier you're gonna see from us in DCS.
So, are you implying there will be other GR variations?
Yeah, I've been publicly saying in our Eagle Dynamics forums we're gonna create the GR7.
Okay.
Whenever that happens, I cannot say it's gonna happen tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the Plus version once DCS is ready for it. Right now, we don't have an air-to-ground radar.
Yeah, that's the...
Eventually, which is this is a personal project of mine, which is creating a SHAR.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you hear from me here, but there is actually no schedules on it, no laid out plans for it right now.
Of course.
Because as it is, our schedule is completely full.
Okay.
So now that we have the Harrier technology working in this product, it will be easier for us to create our models.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's exactly that. It's not like most of the other aircraft where it's basically you take a template and you run off that. I think with a Harrier, it's totally different.
Yeah.
It literally has to be redesigned from the ground up. And
yeah.
I think we could also say it's quite impressive how fast you guys managed to get this out. And
oh yeah, it was
11
months, right?
For the Harrier?
Yeah.
This announcement, yeah.
Something like
joined
that.
your channel.
Yeah.
The thing is
really
that the whole DCS Harrier took probably 2 years.
Oh wow.
The thing is that when we got into DCS as a third-party developer, our first product that was planned back then was the F-15E Strike Eagle.
Oh yeah.
But then we ran into some problems regarding the DCS engine itself that prevent us to create such an aircraft. So the next thing in line was the Harrier, because we have back then the F-6 Harrier was very mature and was just released. So we said, okay, let's move over with this one. We didn't know exactly how it worked and how it was to create anything for DCS. When we stumbled with the big brick wall, which it is, and we stood down for it and decided to try to create anything else with training aircraft, and they would say no, let's go for the Mirage. But when we went to the Mirage, work in the Harrier already started. So because I was working on the Harrier, because I'm a 3D developer, and Mirage is Tim Taylor's work. So I work in the Harrier mesh for almost 2 years, and when it was ready to actually debug all the time for the Harrier, from then to now it's been 11 months. Yeah.
Microphone activated.
That's really impressive.
And that's the way we
Microphone
keep
muted.
working, because the final goal for Razbam is trying to create 2 models per year. And what we are doing right now is our production line is going to start to pop up next year, then more products and more stuff, and we'll try to fulfill that plan.
That's really impressive. I can't wait for this to be released. I see
Microphone
Decoy
activated.
has just come into the chat with us, the lead of Jonathan Ravens.
Hi, Ron.
Yes.
Hi.
How you doing? You alright?
Thanks. Good.
Thanks for coming on, Ron. Really appreciate you taking the time to
Microphone
come and do the
muted.
interview. I know the streamers are obviously very happy with it, and you know, generally we really appreciate you taking the time. A massive thank you on our half, buddy. Thank you.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Microphone
Seeing as we do still have a few minutes left of this interview, James, I'm wondering if we can maybe just put you on the spot a little bit and yeah, maybe just give, without giving away too much, a brief summation of your experience with the Harrier so far. What are your thoughts on it?
Ron, is it okay if I talk about it?
Yeah, sure. Can you say it again? Sorry, I couldn't hear it that well.
So he's asked me whether or not I can give a bit of an insight into my usage.
Without giving too much away.
Yeah, he wants to give you a bit of a chat about the usage of the Harrier. Is it okay if I talk about it?
Yeah, sure.
James, sorry, just before we begin, I have to cut you off because it's about time that I have to go.
Yeah, that's fine. You go, mate, and we'll sort it out.
Okay.
We'll see you later. Thanks,
mate. Yeah, no, but the problem is I have the stream key.
Don't worry, I can sort that out. Don't worry. That's
okay,
fine.
so if you want to go ahead and start the stream, I'll go ahead and stop it now. So
yeah, no, leave this on. I'll restart it in a minute.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'll lose everyone.
Okay, I see.
So yeah, so talking about the Harrier. So I've been flying it for a short period. I found it to be a very challenging aircraft in order to
Microphone
learn the hover
muted.
element. Transition for me is the hardest part, but it's a really rewarding aircraft to want to transition and learn how to take the the startup, hover, transition to level flight. It's a very, very good aircraft. But to be fair, and again, I'm not just saying this purely for the fact Ron is in here, but I own every module within DCS, and this is by far the most rewarding.
Thank you very much.
Today, and Ron, you've done a cracking job. You know that.
Oh well, it's not just me. I mean, there's a lot of people involved in this. I can't take the whole credit for it. I might be the guy in front of Razbam, but the team made this aircraft. I mean, I created the exterior model, and team they make the cockpit, and then he came and polished the whole thing. My brother did all the avionics. Chris Sykes did an amazing job with the flag modeling. We have Hank Hexer for Belgium, who's doing the textures, the repainting, the schemes, and everything else. And people like you that test the plane before anyone else. Also, a number of people involved with the real plane, which have to remain anonymous because there will be some problems with them.
Of course.
And yeah, it's been a lot of people behind it. Everybody devoted a big chunk of their time to put this thing in the right way. And like I said, not here, but some other people said some will love it, some will hate it, but at the end of the day, I think everybody will enjoy it.
Yeah, I think you're definitely right there. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong, you get your frustration moments from what I found, where you just drop out of the sky. But hey,
me?
No, me. I've done it many. Sorry, I've crashed your plane many times. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the ejection seat is gonna be used a lot.
Many times.
Yeah, I've used that ejection seat quite a lot. So thank you for putting that in. It saved my life a lot.
Yeah, another thing that happened as a first for me is that I got my first setup, my first Oculus Rift setup, and this is the first plane I tested with Oculus Rift. And I don't work for Oculus, but I can say right now that if you don't have a VR setup, it can be harder to land this plane. I mean, with VR, you're actually in it and give you a little sense of what's happening around you that you can have with Track AR, for instance, or fixed screen. I think that to actually get to fly this plane right, you need to have more of a VR experience than anything else, because it's basically it's a pilot's plane.
Yeah, I'll back that up because I have the CV1. I have Track AR and obviously the monitor, and the CV1 is by far the easiest way to handle and fly the aircraft because you have a good situational awareness. But just on a plus note, recently after the update, I noticed the smoothness inside of the aircraft in regards to performance is incredible. It's on par with the best of the cockpits out there, to be fair, in VR. So if anyone's got VR, you're going to enjoy this. Definitely, it's definitely good fun.
Yeah, it's good. It's good for VR, and also there is some kind of sense of what the aircraft actually can do versus what it actually can do. I mean, I was very critical with people on the team. They were posting pictures of it with a lot of bumps under the weapon, under the wings, and huge bump loads. I said that's not how the Harrier operates. And say, yeah, but you know the community will use it this way, that way. Yeah, okay, try to use it, and you will see if you can actually enjoy it, because you will try not to be killed by the plane. And it's actually what happens. So, like I said, some people gonna hate it because it's not a huge bomb truck, but you have to have a proper, I would say, you have to be very aware of what you're using versus how you can use it in combat with this plane. Instead of having like 12 bombs, you load only 4 and learn how to do the most damage those 4s instead of using 8. Or when you have guided weapons, you instead of carrying like 12 LGBs, the small diameter bombs, you carry only 1. And then you have to, because this plane is not unbalance friendly. You got to balance what you have under the wings. And if you go with asymmetrical loadouts, you're gonna have a very, very busy time trying to fly this. And it happens in the real world. And oh, that's what I was going to after. Anyway, there are many, many pictures of this plane online, but and you see this plane, you know, with uh, one TGP, one under one pylon, and just one fuel tank under the other one, or just or using fuel tanks plus bombs. But what that picture is not telling you is that that's not an actual combat loadout of this plane. You can go to combat in this bird using fuel tanks, external fuel tanks. You have to be very aware of the amount of fuel you have. You want to go back to the ship with this thing. I mean, if you're too heavy, you're gonna have to drop the bombs you're not used, or you have to start dumping fuel. There's a lot of things that are going around with the Harrier before and after you drop the weaponry. So it's gonna keep you busy for quite some time using this plane. I mean, it happened the same thing with the FSX version. People saying we're asking, oh yeah, how hard is to fly this one? I'll say it's gonna take you at least 8 hours to actually start controlling it. But that was and is because we're still selling it. It uses a FSS gimmick to replicate hovering because it's not supported in FSX or Repair 2D. The DCS version is a whole another bird. It's a different animal and it's even harder than the FSX version. So I can tell you that before you start using weapons, learn to use the plane, or you're gonna die trying to drop a bomb.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'll be honest with you. I mean, we're obviously gonna have to wrap up, but I'll be honest with you. The first 2-3 weeks, all I can see, Ron, is servers filled with Harriers performing airshow stunts and hovering. That's all it's going to be. That's
pretty much.
That's all it would be for the first part. I can pretty much guarantee it.
Many ejections.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah. So again, thank you so much for coming on, Ron. I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know how busy you guys are getting Harrier ready. So yeah, I'd like to thank you. And hopefully we'll speak to you guys again soon. And
sure.
Yeah, we're going to carry on and get this event finished and find a winner for your Harrier.
When did the event start? Today is the competition, right?
So it started today at 2 o'clock. So it's been running for 2.5 hours and should end in about 2 hours.
Ah, okay.
We should have a winner by 5:30.
Okay, how is it going so far?
Yeah, it's going very well. I mean, we've got some good scores in so far. We've got the guy we've got Stooge who's done good on the bomb runs. He's hit bullseye. We've had Blinksies that's hit 1 meter from the rocket run. Yeah, we've had some really good pilots. To be fair, we've had a few instances where people have unfortunately crashed. But you know, it wouldn't be the same without that. But no, it's done really well, Ron. It's been a really good event. So without
That's good to know.
further ado, I'm gonna jump off now. I'm gonna move on and disable the stream because I need to jump it from Wooner. So Wooner's having to leave us. I'm going to take over the stream, guys, from here on in.
Excellent. Yeah.
So I'm going to have a little break. There'll be a pause break for about 1 minute, and then the stream will start again. So don't go anywhere. Just stay tuned, and it should auto connect you. But yeah, thank you very much from me, and Ron, I will speak to you later.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to talk directly to you, and well, I'll see you in the simulator skies.
See you soon,
Definitely.
Ron.
Thanks, Ron. Cheers.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, Ron.
Bye.
User disconnected from your channel.
Okay, so I'm just going to end the stream quickly and then start a new one. Gotta remember how to do it now. Wooner, are you still here? Or have you gone? Gone.
Probably gone.
Alright, let me just